Good morning, COVID town! How y'all doing out there? Well, we are again joining ourselves for another considerable conversation. Tonight, we're going to have the conclusion of the top 25 movies of all time. Tonight is the top 10, so this is our thrilling final chapter. This is our John Wick 3. This is our Return of the King. This is the Terminator 2. The final and the best. Few saying before we introduce our colleagues here, saying hello to some of the people in the chat. Welcome home to the Irish guy, one of Team Considerable's finest right there. Welcome home to Danny Sadiq, one of Team Considerable's finest right there. Thank you again for the 16 months of subscription awesome from Epic Gittins, Mr. TC Epic Plays there, who has just reached affiliate themselves, and it's Blitz! We are blessed, we've got Blitz in the chat. I'm gonna win, I feel like I'm gonna win now. We've got Blitz, and she's finally here. Welcome home, Blitzy. Now, to my upper left quadrant, joining us tonight, as always, is Team Considerable Harpalop. Would you like to say hello?
How goes it, everybody?
Superb, and as it says right there, the man who cried that one time. Now, above me, okay, on the man on top, as we like to know him, it's the best looking man you're going to see tonight, frankly. It's Team Considerable Petulant Panda. Would you like to say hello? He's lost audio.
Is it me? Yeah, I can't actually hear. I'm having audio issues. How's it going, guys? I'm going to try and sort this out a sec, but just carry on doing the thing and that.
We will try and blunder our way through as best as we can in the only way that we know how, by the skin of our teeth and the seat of our pants. On my direct left, it's the man that needs no introduction. It's it's the man, the myth, the Tinder legend, the lap dance extraordinaire himself. It's Team Considerable Iraklis. Would you like to say hello?
Araxione! That means hello, Bulk. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone.
Fantastic. FTR Shady, hello.
Considerable conversation.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah, considerable conversations. Yes. It is indeed there. So, Shady, welcome home, sir. Right, now, tonight, as I've said, we're concluding the trilogy. Well, it's not a trilogy, is it? But anyway,
It's a duology.
Wait, I know what I haven't done.
You haven't made it so that Panda's name is visible.
I can't do that. There's nothing I can do about that.
Title?
But I didn't change the title.
Change it now. Change it now.
Change it now. I'm on it. While I'm changing it, I'm going to first of all introduce what we're doing. We're doing the top 10 tonight, the most important and favoritist and greatest movies of all time, according to our intrepid panel here. The most intelligent and wisest minds you're going to find, well, that we could find, frankly. We didn't do a lot of searching. I'm not going to lie. It's the top 10 tonight. Mr. Team Considerable Harpalop, would you please explain the rules while I fix this glaring error?
Indeed. So, same rules as usual, but for anybody new, this is how it's going to go down. We are each going to state our 10th favourite film of all time, and we're going to say a little piece about it and why we think it's our favourite, or 10th favourite. And please note, this isn't what we think are the objectively best films. It's just our favourites, right? Bear that in mind. So.
Oh, have I done you again? Oh, sorry, yeah, go, carry on.
I would say my number 10, I would say a little piece about it, and then we'd rotate clockwise until we've all said our number 10, and then I'll open a poll in the chat that will last for 1 minute only, and everyone in the chat needs to vote on which of the 4 films is going to take the number 10 spot. Okay? Nice and simple. And then we're going to move on to the number 9 spot, and so on and so forth, and hitherto and henceforth. And I believe once we've done 10 to 6, we're going to quickly run through some honourable mentions. And Panda's been waiting for me to reveal a secret to him regarding my honourable mentions, and it kind of explains my name down here as well. So look forward to that.
Yeah, I will be.
Spiffing, marvelous. I am super looking forward to that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get in there. We've got the chat up there. We haven't got Panda's Zoom name, but just know that it's the best one of the lot.
Should we say what it is?
It was Big Pandaddy, wasn't it? I can't even read it from where I am right now because
yes, it is.
It's Big Pandaddy. There we go. Big Pandaddy himself is in the house. He might be able to hear. He might not. It doesn't look like he can. This is convenient. It's the inconvenient truth that these headphones suck.
They're great when they work. It's just that sometimes they don't.
Okay, right. So who's going to kick us off? How about I kick us off with number 10, and that way Panda has maximum time to get his audio issues unissued.
I can't unissue them. It keeps fixing it and then just cutting off. So that's gonna constantly happen. I don't know why it's doing it, but.
Can you run the audio out of your laptop and just use the laptop's microphone?
It's not that. It's running out of my headset, and if I do that, then it'll pick it up on the mic. The mic will pick it up, and it'll be an echo.
Can you run a cable such as this from the laptop to your headset?
Is he talking to it again? I can't hear anything again.
He's asking. He's saying, "Can you plug it in?" Is what he's saying. Can you plug in a power supply?
He can't hear it though.
Any of you guys ever played Smooth Razor? Yes, some people have played Smooth Razor. But something.
It's a great game.
It is. Okay, right. Now, number 10 for me. What could I say about my number 10? Here it is. Oh, before I do, let's change the bed because this is serious time now. Serious time. There we go. My 10th favoritist, bestest movie of all time.
Folks having a stroke.
Fist of the North Star. It's a cartoon. It's a comic. It's my number 10. It's also what I would regard as formed my prepubescent life. Is Fist of the North Star. Yada da 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 da. You are already dead. Boom. Love this stuff. Now, if you haven't seen Fist of the North Star, how can I describe it? It's Mad Max meets something incredibly madder. It's a post-apocalyptic, deserted, irradiated landscape where the radiation hasn't really created mutants, but rather 19-foot physical beasts and behemoths that will go around eating people and just generally terrorizing the populace. Now, I don't know why everyone's not mutated into huge beasts, but that's just the way these things go. Our hero, Kenshiro.
It rhymes.
It does, yeah. Our hero, Kenshiro, is walking along the desert with his girl. They get assaulted by Shin, who essentially kills Ken and throws him down a gorge to his death, and then rocks land on his head, and he should be dead. But he is so at one with the power of the Fist of the North Star that he doesn't die. He just needs, like Godzilla, he needs a little bit of a rest and recuperation. And he comes back again on a bloody rampage all across this irradiated wasteland of post-apocalyptic Japan.
Sounds like Kazuya.
Yes, he's basically Kazuya. And he gets to the end, and if you haven't seen it, basically there's a moment when he could save his new best friend if only he broke out of a casual stroll during the montage scene. And he faces the real hero of the piece, which is King Rao, my ultimate anime hero of all time. Misunderstood Rao, misunderstood. But yes, blood, guts, massive action all over the place. Love that thing. It is, undoubtedly a cinematic masterpiece. So, Omaiwa mo shinderu. One more time for number 10. Please take it away and try and beat that, Heracles.
Well, mine, it's certainly not the best, one of the best movies, of course. But it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I just put it in number 10.
Mortal Kombat.
Azione! Your sword is wing. Mortal Kombat. The first one, of course.
Yeah. The only one that counts, really.
Yeah, the only one that exists.
I don't want to.
My favorite video game, except video game movie. I've seen other movies also, like Resident Evil, Tomb Raider. What else?
Sonic?
Sonic? No, I haven't watched Sonic. To be honest.
I mean, for years I've always said Mortal Kombat is the best video game movie, and I would probably stand by that, but Sonic is a close second, I must say.
But I've seen others, but I don't remember them right now. Anyway,
Dungeon.
MK was my favorite anyway. It was a good film, okay. But okay, it's not like you said, Harps. We don't say the best movies.
Yeah, it's just our personal favorite movies.
Our personal favorite movies. Only that. Based on that, what you said and what we said, Mortal Kombat could not be in my top 10.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Shang Tsung in it. How could it not be in the top 10?
Yes, we've got two action blockbusters right there, from very similar veins. One of them has the quite frankly the best workout theme tune ever created.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. So yeah, anything else you want to say about Mortal Kombat the movie?
No, what else? The soundtrack is amazing. Okay, the soundtrack, the fighting was great. The acting was decent.
There was acting?
Tagawa was excellent.
Yes, obviously. Cary Tagawa was excellent. Christopher Lambert, obviously.
I like
Of course.
Lambert, of course. And
The fate of the world depends upon you. Sorry.
The actor who played Johnny Cage, I like that one too.
Kano was awesome.
Kano and Bridget Wilson, of course.
I've studied all your moves.
Study this.
And she just straight up kills him, dead. Oh,
Right.
it's good.
I think are we moving on to Harplop now, Heracles?
Yes. I'm finished. Okay.
Wiggity wiggity wah wah.
Wiggity wah wah. Well, okay, this is a film that Bulk tried to besmirch last time we were here. Besmirch, he tried. Don't heed his calls about misogyny and outdated homophobic language and all this stuff. True though it may be, Commando is my number 10 favorite film of all time. Yes, I placed it above Predator because although Predator is a better film, Commando is the most Arnie film ever. And me and my mates grew up loving just everything Arnie. Like in our lore, in our head canon, Arnie was like more powerful than God. Like he doesn't fire bullets at people. He fires victory at them, or he fires defeat at them, whichever's funnier. He never changes a gun because he runs out of ammo. He just changes a gun because he's bored of killing with that gun. Like he has these powers in our lore, and Commando is just the peak of that. Me and my mate tried to count how many people he killed in the film Commando, and we lost count when he started blowing up barracks with like blocks of C4. Just lost count of how many people he was killing. It's so outrageous. It's so over the top. There's a guy in it that seems kind of like Kano. You know, let off some steam, Bennett. I mean, you're a funny guy, Scully. That's why I'm going to kill you last. And then, of course, the payoff for that later when he goes, hey, Scully, remember when I said I was going to kill you last? Yeah, that's right, Matrix. Yeah, you did. I lied, and then just murders the guy. Oh, that film is so good. It may have not aged very well, but it is the most Arnie film in existence, and for that reason, it's above Predator, but it's not my favourite Arnie film. It's just number 10. There we go, Commando.
It's a tough one. I mean, if I've got to come back on Commando, let's pretend that we're all okay with the misogyny and the homophobia and the casual racism. Let's pretend that didn't exist and we're in an ideal world. My biggest issue with Commando is the bad guy's not exactly bad, is he? He's just a chubby dude. He's a chubby Freddie Mercury impersonator.
He's a crime lord of miscellaneous actions who kidnapped Matrix's daughter. He's a child kidnapper and potentially child murderer.
Okay, well,
I'd say he's a bad guy.
So he's like you would say he's like he kidnapped a small tiny child, a small girl, and took him to his island hideaway. Is that what you're saying? He's like crime royalty.
Yes.
He's like a Prince Andrew. Anyway, Panda. Go ahead, Panda, number 10.
Right. I'm gonna just quickly fire through this while my headset's actually working and connected and I can actually hear you guys. My number 10 is a Christmas movie, but it may not actually be considered a Christmas movie.
Oh, it is.
Oh, I thought that was the name of
it. Argument about whether it actually to me it is a Christmas movie. But my number 10 is
I've already written it down.
Yeah.
It is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly. It is a Christmas movie.
In the same way that Smash is a fighting game.
Right, but let's not even get into that's a whole different argument at its heart. So let's not even go there on that one. It's a great action film. Every single set piece in it is really, really well done. It's got loads of one-liners in it. It's one of those films as an action film. It's just got everything. Everything's fun. It's got loads of one-liners, great action set pieces, great actors, or even the supporting cast. There's no real sort of dull characters. You got Matey in the office that's on drugs and that. You got his missus in there. All of the bad guys. Every single character serves their role, and it's just a great action movie in my opinion.
Can we actually just call it out and say it's Bruce Willis's hairiest film?
Yeah, let's just go with that.
I can't think of another one. I see Blitz saying, "Oh my goodness, you guys! I thought Harper was Ketchup the streamer." I have no idea who that is, but thanks.
Yeah, good. So, are we going to name this movie Panda?
It's Die Hard. Did I not name? I think I named it at the start.
I think you did. Yeah,
you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah,
say it.
I did.
He did. He went, yeah, it's Die Hard. He just threw it out there.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Love that beginning. Okay, so Die Hard. Yeah, my favourite part, obviously, apart from Bruce Willis with no shoes, is Alan Rickman as a just lunatic German criminalist. Oh, criminal. Yeah. He's not a criminalist. He's not a criminalist. But I love how British actors get to do the whole go insane when they go to Hollywood thing. Guy who did Leon, he was in who's the dude?
He's not an English actor though.
He is. No.
Renee Jean or whatever.
No. Not actually Leon, but the guy who plays the cop. And he played Commissioner Gordon, and he was in the fifth.
Gary Oldman.
Thank you. How could I forget Gary Oldman? Actual royalty, proper royalty, not
Legend.
Someone that wants to go off and live in California and do interviews.
All these politics.
Yeah, proper British royalty there. Gary Oldman, Alan Rickman, rest in peace. But they get to play they get to be the villain in a Hollywood movie. They get to really ham it up and go to 11. We're going to be sitting on a beach making 20%. They absolutely love it.
The Brits make the best bad guys.
They do.
Well, we're always cast as the bad guys. I think it's. I mean, it's
we
just
make
like
the best villains.
There's that, and there's also the fact that I think America needs to push the narrative that Britain is the bad guy.
Well,
there might be some.
Yeah. Very recent events have confirmed that.
Rowan, say how goes it? Okay, Prime's here as well. Nice. Shall I start the poll?
Oh my goodness, yes, please. Let's start a poll.
Everybody, the poll is now live. So look in your chats. Look at the top of the chat. There's a poll.
Then click
on
Die
that and
Hard.
vote.
And then click Die Hard.
Vote for which one of these deserves to win the top 10 slot, and it's a tough one, to be honest.
Did I see Prime? I can't even see Prime. That's his. That is his. That is his.
He's hiding behind his F2.
Yes, his secret power.
What Prime said.
I don't even see what Prime said. Right, Fists of the North Star is unfortunately losing this one, people. It might be outgunned here by Bruce and his bullets.
Yeah, it will be. Everyone's like, Die Hard, Space for time.
Yeah, this is foregone conclusion. But I'm glad that Fists of the North Star got as many votes as Commando, because
you sold Fist of the North Star. It sounds awesome, I must say.
Have you not seen it?
No. When you said Fist of the North Star, I was like, is that a cartoon? I don't know.
You have to put that on your list. Okay, so Die Hard is locked in at your number 10, and it looks like audio issues are a thing of the past for Panda Palace.
No, it's come back again.
Oh, bugger. Right.
I'm frantically trying to fix it now, but...
Right, Heracles, would you please go with your number 9?
Right?
Yes.
It appears to be The Lion King, the original.
The 1993 animated epic.
I think it got a couple of Oscars also. Anyway, it is my favorite Pixar movie. Is it
Disney? That's straight Disney.
Disney.
Yeah, straight Disney.
Yeah.
I haven't watched many Pixar movies, to be honest. I'm not a great fan. But this movie, I remember, maybe it was an age thing also, but I remember I cried a bit in this movie, to be honest. Yes.
Aww. It does have some good moments. I mean, people like to point to Bambi's mum as, the go-to sad death, but it's all about Simba's dad.
But I also like side characters in this movie, like Pumbaa and Timon. Especially Pumbaa, my favorite.
He called me Mr. Pig. I didn't get that reference. My parents had to explain it to me.
I can't remember much from the movie. I mean, I haven't watched it recently. But yes, it is definitely one of my favorite ones.
It's a good choice.
It will not surprise you to hear that I've seen Lion King 1 and 2 fairly recently, and on a more regular basis because I have children. And
I saw The Lion King 2 once, and I snapped it out of my memories.
I wish
it doesn't
I could.
exist.
I wish I could, but Bulk Jr.'s favourite Lion King is 2. He's at odds with the rest of the...
You failed as a parent.
He's at odds with the rest of the family. We will educate the boy. He's got some time. He has time.
Glad to hear it.
Something I have much less of, having seen that movie.
Oh, Shady's saying the worst animated death of all time is easily Littlefoot's mum in Land Before Time. That's a sad death. That is a sad death. I mean, they gave you about 10 seconds to get to know the character, but it was a sad death.
It's not as sad as Ray's death in Fist of the North Star, because he gets killed by being shanked by a finger.
It's not as well. None of these deaths are as sad as Optimus Prime's death in the 1986 animated Transformers film.
Yeah, that's pretty bad actually. That
was sad, mate.
That's pretty sad. It's pretty sad.
As Panda would say, it's big sad.
Yeah, it makes his successor. Oh God, what was his name? The blue
Ultra Magnus. Well,
Ultra Magnus.
He tried to give the Matrix of Leadership to Ultra Magnus, but Ultra Magnus denied it, and Hot Rod took it, and he became Rodimus Prime.
Yeah, but Ultra Magnus also dies in that movie, and no one cares because he gets repaired again. But literally, no one cares that Ultra Magnus is laid waste by by Galvatron's minions, and he dies, and so what? Optimus is dead, man.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like if It would be like if Simba's dad died, and then Simba's aunt died. You'd be like, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. You know, like everyone else could die. Mufasa dies. You know, it's. But then that's why they called him Mufasa. It's a play on words. He should have moved faster. Move faster.
Oh man, that scene.
Only Mountie will get that gag.
Only Mountie.
Only Mountie. Gotta move faster.
Yeah. Panda's having big issues and it's big sad.
He's gonna.
Is this echoing now? Because I've just got the audio playing out of the laptop. Is there an echo or is it all right?
We don't have an echo.
No.
No.
All right, that's fine then. So I'll just leave it like that.
Wiggity what? Problem solved. Problem solved.
Beautiful.
Okay. Number 9.
Right, so Panda, Bulk was just saying that your top 10 list is irrelevant, and he explained it in great detail.
What happened?
Not much. Are we moving on to me?
We are. Yes, please do.
Okay, well, I feel I should preface, however you like it, my pick by saying that you might want to hold off on voting for The Lion King for the number 9 slot, because it might be higher up the list on someone else's list. Just throwing it out there, doing a bulk with Predator. Okay, so my number 9. This is the third. If you recall last time, I had 3 musicals on my list. This is the third and final musical. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Okay.
Because that music was so good. I didn't hear the album until I saw the film. That was my introduction to the music. So then every time I heard the music after that, I had the envisionment of the story. The story, not particularly, not massively epic. I mean, I guess it is. You know, they end up fighting the devil, but it's just them on a road trip to get the Pick of Destiny. But the way it's all set up, the way it gives you lore on Tenacious D, you see how Jables and Rage Cage meet. You see how Jables develops his love for The Rock, and his father, Meatloaf, is saying stuff like, you're going for a week with no telephone, you gotta praise the Lord when you're in my home. You know, Meatloaf hamming it up in the way only Meatloaf can. And so many cameos. And of course, you get to see them perform the greatest song in the world that Tribute was only a tribute to. It's the way that works. I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. They're showing the greatest song in the world that Tribute was only a tribute to. It's so good. I mean, if you like Tenacious D, then you'll get it. If you don't like Tenacious D, don't bother watching it, quite frankly. But it's so good. I listened to most of the album. It's in heavy rotation still to this day in my Spotify list. It's just such good music, and it's all related to the story as well. It's not just here's a random song for no reason, like films like Mamma Mia do. They're like, here's a song, doesn't really have anything to do with anything, we just have the IP and we got to use it. This is like, oh no, this guy's tripping on shrooms, here's a song about tripping on shrooms. You know, seeing Sasquatch and all this stuff. Oh wait, they have to fight the devil in a rock off. Here's how they did that. Mwah. And of course, deactivating laser beams with special parts. I mean, I don't think I've seen that in any other film, quite frankly. So, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is my number 9.
Interesting. Panda, what say you?
My number 9 is probably the greatest World War II film ever made, in my opinion, obviously, because it's my highest World War II film on my list. But it's got the greatest opening set piece in any war film I've ever seen.
Got it.
I'll start typing the name in now.
Right. Absolutely brilliant film. It's got a great cast, it's just a great film. Do you know what I mean? It's got everything you want from a war film. It's got a great story with, obviously, what is the story of it? Is Ryan's 3 brothers got killed, so they have to try and get him out, don't they? And
yeah, it's trying to let's not let the last surviving brother die.
Yeah. Basically, it's all about them going in, getting him out, and that, and yeah, everything that entails. But in my opinion, it's just a brilliant war film with some great actors in it that do a great job. So
I kind of saw it. I saw 3/4 of it once, and I fell asleep. But that was not because I was bored. I was watching it, and I was like, this film's living up to all the hype. This film is so good. But I was so tired, I physically could not stay awake. So I fell asleep when Tom Hanks was in a church talking to someone by candlelight. That's the last thing I remember seeing. I don't know how far into the film that is, but what little I did see, probably about half of it, seemed very good. Very good.
It's been a while since I watched it, to be fair, but I just remember watching it and thinking this is amazing. So there you go. It's that high up my list.
Okay.
It's probably worth voting for that over The Lion King right now, I'd say.
And it's in the house.
Interesting choice. It's an interesting choice. Probably the best thing for me going for Saving Private Ryan, or shaving Ryan's privates, as Prime put in the chat. Anyway, I think the best part about that movie is Vin Diesel getting shot.
Vin Diesel's in that film?
Vin Diesel's in there. He gets shot by a sniper.
Film, yeah.
He gets shot by a sniper because he's trying to. He's going off mission by trying to get someone out of a ruined, half blown up building, and he gets shot by a sniper, and they can't touch him. They can't run to his aid because they're going to get shot by the sniper. So the sniper deliberately wounds him lethally, but doesn't kill him outright. Doesn't go for a headshot. So he goes for a bleed out, and you see Vin Diesel dying in a puddle of his own blood, which is horrific and simultaneously fantastic. It's a great piece of cinema. Right,
sounds good.
My number 9. It's Gary Oldman and Luc Besson. Leon. Absolutely loved Leon as the professional assassin who is taken advantage of by the guy from every mafia movie. I don't even know. Is Danny Aiello? Is that his name? Danny Aiello? I think
I can't say I've heard of that name.
it's like Aliolello. I'm not Italian, but I can't. But Leon, yes, Leon. Natalie Portman, very, very young Natalie Portman, but still Natalie Portman. Luc Besson directing a cinematic masterpiece of this hitman for hire who does jobs, literally it seems, for glasses of milk and bullets. And he takes it for those. It's a tie between this and the Pick of Destiny now. Everyone! Yes, when Gary Oldman, who is an amphetamine-fueled, crooked as you like, police chief, and
British royalty,
but he's as crooked as you like. He's the most bent copper you could possibly imagine. He's in charge of like the whole division, of the whole drugs division or whatever he's in charge of. He manages to personally get on the bad side of the best hitman in the world, which is on its own fantastic. It's all the cops versus the dude. And the way he gets on the wrong side is he accidentally, deliberately kills Natalie Portman's entire family in a deal gone bad. So
big mistake.
Yeah, big mistake. You shouldn't have killed John's dog. Basically, it's one of those situations. And reluctantly, Leon takes Natalie Portman in, who's just a bit of an annoyance, who wants to, play about with the guns and whatnot. But he does come round in the end and manages to take out this crooked cop in Gary Oldman, and everyone is one of the lines that's going to stick with me forever. I'm just a bit concerned. Can you still not hear anything? Oh, okay. I thought Whitney was asking. I still can't hear Pandude. That would be tragic.
No.
That would be tragic.
That would be disastrous.
It would be disastrous.
So, just to interject, with this line, everyone.
Yes.
What's the?
Okay, so Gary Oldman's in the flat, and they found Leon. They found where he lives. Okay, and he's so far had a few of his cops shot and killed by Leon, and he gets on the radio to police HQ, and he just says, "Send everyone. We found him. Send everyone." What do you mean, everyone? That's where it comes from? Okay, and they send in SWAT. He takes out the whole SWAT division of the police force on his own with a handgun. Okay,
is he Arnie?
No, he is lethality in a suit. Okay, and he drinks milk. He's brilliant, and he's got a cactus and whatnot.
Well, the reason why I was asking about that line is because I haven't seen Leon, but I've played Need for Speed Most Wanted, right? And at the end of Need for Speed Most Wanted, there's a crooked cop that's like been on your butt since the beginning of the game, just trying to find a reason, and you work your way up to become the Most Wanted, right? And they realize that you've escaped, and you're watching this cutscene, and it's like live action actors, and this guy goes, "Send everyone," and his subordinate goes, "Everyone," and he goes, "Everyone!"
Yeah,
like at the top of his voice.
They
Must
ripped
be a
it.
reference.
They ripped it from Gary Oldman. That was
Nice.
Yeah, it's a scene, and the Luc Besson, obviously Fifth Element. He's such a great. He captures the scene, the cell, so incredibly well. There's so much great cinematography going on in Leon, incredible soundtrack, and a story that will be with me forever. And my number 9 slot is really fiercely contested. So it's deeply emotionally charged. If you've seen it, it will be with you forever. Okay. If you haven't seen it, let me tell you, it's just amazing. Just simple as that, and you need to. It's like what John Wick wanted to be. If you love John Wick, and I do, if you love John Wick, Leon is what John Wick wanted to be when it growed up. Okay, so let's get a poll going, shall we?
All right, yes, the poll is now live, everybody, so check your chat at the top of the chat, and please do vote for the film that you think that's your favorite out of the 4. Just bear in mind that if The Lion King gets voted in now, it can't possibly get voted in higher up in someone else's list if it is indeed going to appear in someone else's list.
Ooh, the voting is very intense. Gladiator is an all-time classic. Yes, it's one of my favourites. It's just not in my 25, unfortunately. Are you not entertained?
Okay, I need The Lion King to not win, so I'm going to vote for Saving Private Ryan.
Vote for Leon. It's already got 8 votes to 3.
Come on. Wait, did Die Hard get number 10 as well?
Let's have a look.
Yes, it did.
I'm smashing this.
Yeah, you are. You don't worry. You can. You're gonna peak early.
I wouldn't be
And the
uncharacteristic.
winner. And the number 9 film is indeed Saving Private Ryanus.
Yes. Okay.
There we go.
I think I sold them on Vin Diesel getting shot.
It kind of sold me.
Okay.
I was like, I like Vin Diesel. It would be funny to see him act like he's dying. That would be funny.
Right, number 8, please, Harps. What have you got?
Yes, okay. Let's have a look.
Oh, change the bed.
Do I have?
Got to change the backing music.
Change the bed, otherwise you'll fall through and see you in the spring and such. Number 8. I know exactly what Panda's going to say about this.
It's too low.
But if that's exactly what Panda's going to say about this. If I said the words Terminator 2 Judgment Day at number 8,
Ow.
I mean that's just how it is. Arguably, if we're talking about objective quality of how awesome things actually are, and not just my personal opinions, it's just a fact that Terminator 2 is one of the greatest films of all time, if not the greatest action film, and definitely the greatest sci-fi action film of all time. And it's the best Arnie film of all time. And
these are all reasons why it's too low.
T-1000's... No, because there's better films above it, mate.
Nah.
Better films above it. Terminator 2 is just absolutely great. It's absolutely outstanding. It's basically a flawless film. Who hasn't seen Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Danny? You best have seen it, mate. I'll disown you. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I mean, what more can be said than it sits perfectly at the number 8 spot because that's where it belongs.
Irish there with the comment. Dun 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 dun.
Danny Sadiq hasn't seen it. Oh no!
Dun dun dun.
He hasn't. Oh my god. Who let him in TC?
Oh my god. Danny Sadiq, are you aware of the concept of films? you should watch a couple. I bet you could count the films he's seen on one hand. I bet you could.
And I'm losing
Maybe that
my mind.
Guy about the dog.
He's like, does watching Kuma's tiny legs make combos with count as a movie? If it does, I've seen plenty of those.
There's probably a movie about that. Let's face it.
Yes. That's basically all I have to say, really, because it's Terminator 2. What more can you say?
What more can you say? I promise I will not kill anyone.
I know what you.
Yeah, and he just like caps him in the legs. He'll live. He gets a mini. At one point, he stood like 10 floors up in this office building, firing a minigun down at these cops.
Yes.
Doesn't kill anyone. He just goes.
I love how he's got a minigun and a grenade launcher in the fourth floor of Cyberdyne. I think it was the fourth or the fifth floor. And he at the bottom. Once he's finished, he has a scope around, and it goes casualties 0.0.
Yeah. He's like, I'm making sure that no one died.
So,
We'll get out of here alive.
I love they decimalized it because you like blew his leg off, so that's like a 0.4.
Oh man.
You can't
Terminator
just go around
2.
killing people. Yeah,
Why?
He's John Connor is. I mean, it's actually superbly acted. The person who played John Connor, but the John Connor character, he's just quite a whiny teenager.
Oh, very
He's
whiny.
a very whiny
is.
teenager. And he only gets worse in following movies.
But he does. Well, I mean, the following movies don't exist, so
Oh, yeah,
we can just focus on this one. He does a really good job of acting like someone who's that age might act, like a snot-nosed little brat that you want to punch. It's just like, God, there are kids like that exist, you know.
Oh, we can all reenact the scene that Danny Sadiq. We can all do this.
Yeah, surely you've seen that.
Yeah, they referenced that in Doom 2016. If you fall into the molten steel as you're dying, he goes and then sticks his thumb up.
Can we talk about the music?
Reference it in MKX.
Is it in MKX?
Yeah.
No, they didn't do it in Terminator's ending when he's falling down into the sea of blood. I remember watching it, going, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do the thumb thing," and they didn't.
They didn't do the thumb thing in the Terminator's ending. No, they didn't.
No, hang on. It was. Oh no, never mind. Just ignore that. It was a joke that I made once with an MKX reptile video.
Selfless plug,
That's a good
or
one.
shameless, I should say.
Yes. Why is he called My Laptop Dancer? I don't know, Heracles. Why are you called My Laptop Dancer?
I don't know.
Because he's Bulk's laptop dancer.
The Bolt renamed it without him realising, I think.
Oh, you know how you can get like those desktop babes that you can download, and it's like some random half-naked woman dancing on your desktop. Bulk has one of those for Heracles.
What Nightbot? Nightbot? What did Irish say this time? Oh, he posted a link.
Posted a link,
Oh,
yeah.
Fine.
Nightbot's always causing issues. I don't have Nightbot. Maybe I should get
time
it.
him out.
Yeah, because he posted
it's
a
only
link.
5 seconds. It's only 5
Oh,
seconds.
okay.
I wouldn't want to post. Okay. Right. Are we done eulogizing on the best Terminator movie of all time?
Which is way too.
Yes.
It's way too low. It's bad.
It's me in that.
It is.
Right. Number 8 is Avengers Endgame, because it perfectly capped off Phase 3 of Marvel's. Obviously, their whole story, everything coming together with Thanos turning up, and that wasn't Thanos turning up, was it? They went back and undid everything he did. I love the way that it's like the whole time travel thing, like where they go into scenes from the other films, and
Yeah, that was good.
But they take the stones out of those, and it's kind of like, it reminds me of Back to the Future 2, with the whole like, you saw that scene in the first film, now you're seeing it from a different angle, sort of thing, like when Hulk's in New York smashing it up, and then you got Professor Hulk, they're like, oh god, he gets really embarrassed, and they're like, maybe smash something, and he just kicks a bike and goes, and
I'm glad you mentioned the best Back to the Future film as well.
what's that?
I'm glad you mentioned the best Back to the Future film as well, the second one.
The third one's better, but anyway, this isn't about Back to the Future Hulk. Yeah, it speaks for itself, really. You've got, I don't really want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, Danny.
He's never going to see it. It's a film. Why would he watch it?
I cried in the cinema, actually. I cry at everything. That doesn't really mean much. But the death at the end, which was pretty much obvious it was coming, it was kind of built up to that and that. But yeah, it perfectly ended everything. It was a great payoff for everything Marvel had built up for in the last like 10, 11 years or however long it was, in my opinion. So it's fitting of a number 8 spot.
I've given. I got very emotional in the cinema at the same time. Far less emotional than I was in Infinity War, where Spider-Man, he does everything a spider can. Everything is going dark. I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark. Watch out, there goes your Spider-Man.
Yeah, I saw Endgame with the fam a couple of weeks ago. I saw it in the cinema, of course, when it came out. Very good. I think they did about as good a job as they could, wrapping everything up. Like it's what we saw with the MCU was a cinematic achievement hitherto unseen before. No one's done anything on that scale and had it work together so well consistently with just a few. There weren't really any bad ones. There was just a couple of ones that weren't great. Yeah. And people are like, "That's awful." It's like, well, only. But yeah, Endgame's pretty good. It's pretty good, I guess.
See, Harps knows.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the life and times of Tony Stark is it is gonna be a very remembered moment in cinema. Yeah, because you grow. I think of all of the Avengers, you grow most emotionally attached to Tony Stark. I don't think.
Yeah, I actually care about him.
I don't think it's controversial to say, because Tony Stark represents a part that everybody either a little bit is or wants to be, and there's a humanism about him, and there's an awkwardness about the way he interacts with Gwyneth Paltrow. But then that might just be because of Gwyneth Paltrow. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goop. So. You know, when
she's a weird person.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like a massive multi-million-dollar collection of cars in his Malibu basement, but she's got, you know, Vajuju candles all over the house. So of course, it's going to be a little bit awkward. But yeah, absolutely.
She got a message from NASA saying, "Stop what you're doing. It is wrong." Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
On her Goop website, which is basically a scam for idiots, she was selling these patches, right? This is real, right? She was selling these patches. I say she.
Are these the anti-COVID ones?
No, this is before that. This is a couple of years ago. She was selling these patches that apparently align your energies so that you can be more positive, right? So just ignore that. But she said it's made using the same technology that's used on astronaut spacesuits. And NASA came along and went, "No, it isn't. Stop saying it is. No, it isn't." They had to take that line off the thing because they are lying to people, and people awesome. Pay for it.
That's like a very similar email to the one that Piers Morgan just got from the ITV.
Yeah. Stop being. I can't swear, so
yeah.
I'll
stop being wrong. Okay.
Stop being a professional agitator.
Yeah. Right, so Avengers Endgame. Right, how can I top that? Is there anything else you want to say on?
No, go ahead.
Okay, superb. How can I top Avengers Endgame? Pulp Fiction.
Ooh.
Quentin Tarantino's best movie.
I love a Tarantino movie as well, but
we all love a Tarantino movie, apart from Danny. We all love a Tarantino movie, but Pulp Fiction can't be beaten in his catalogue by himself, and he's tried. Goodness knows he's tried. I love all of his movies. He's come real close to it, but Pulp Fiction is the masterpiece. It is the pièce de résistance. It is the Let's stop talking about Piers Morgan. Let's start talking about Pulp Fiction. All right, which is more real than anything Piers has ever said. So, Pulp Fiction, where do we go with this? I mean, do we have time to talk about The Watch? Do we have Bruce Willis, incredible moment in that movie. There's so many great cameos in there. Christopher Walken is fantastic as the guy who had his grandfather's watch up his bottom for 3 years. No, not even his grandfather's watch, was it? It was Bruce Willis's grandfather's watch. Then you've got...
my ass for 10 years.
John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. This is the movie that reinvented John Travolta as someone that could actually do movies again.
Yes.
Because before that, he was fading into obscurity. He had his Saturday Night Fever. He'd been out on the town, and that was it. That was kind of the end of his career. And all of a sudden, Pulp Fiction, we've got John Travolta back, and he's very well supported by Samuel L. Jackson. And you shall know my name is the Lord when I lay my number 8 upon you. frankly. So how can we beat it? One of the best soundtracks of all time. This is when you could buy the soundtrack on a CD, and I think I've got it somewhere. Okay, you know, so it's that good. The way the story goes from from this side to that side and so on. Obviously, it's Marcellus Wallace's soul. Everyone figured that out. After,
it's got to be
after a few months. So yeah, a very small story about that. There is around the world. I have a number of karate colleagues. One of these karate colleagues is a very unlikable bully of a man. Okay, he's from Australia, and we meet him in Japan every now and again. And he's a very unlikable person because he's just such a bully of a character. He's a really big, muscly dude who goes... Huh? Sorry?
Like John Kreese.
Like who?
John Kreese, Karate Kid, Bulk. Educate yourself.
Oh, I thought you were saying John Cleese.
I thought you said John Cleese. Yes. I don't know him, but no, he's
watch Cobra Kai as well.
Oh, is he the dude from Cobra Kai? Okay, I don't know. I've not seen Cobra Kai. I don't watch TV.
I'd have to rewatch Karate Kid. It's been like 30 years.
Anyway, this dude, he is a horrible, horrible man. Right, he tries to throw his pecs around all over the place and pretend he can fight and whatever. He's got his stable of fighters back in Australia and all that. But anyway, he's also very transparently quite stupid. Because about 4 years ago when I did meet him for the first time, we were drinking in a bar and he was saying, hey, you know, in Pulp Fiction it's so well worked. In the briefcase it's Marcellus Wallace's soul. And thankfully everyone around him was switched on enough to go, we kind of knew that 2.5 decades ago, bro. You want to take a big dose of shut up.
You're not a fan of this guy, are you, Bulk?
No one's a fan of this guy. No one's a fan of this guy. I'm not going to name him. I don't want to name him on stream because not that he'll ever.
He's
see
the Dragonov of your karate club.
He's more like the Farkum Ram, but we want him to get the Fark out of here. Right. So that is my number 8. Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's finest hour.
I just have one thing to say about Pulp Fiction, quickly.
Yes.
When I read my list of films out to my friend a couple of weeks ago, he, to this day, in fact, won't stop letting me know how wrong I am for having Pulp Fiction as a mere honourable mention and not having it in the top 10. So I just wanted to let you know, when you hear me read it out later, I have been summarily harangued for it already.
God, did you see the sign on the driveway as you rolled up for honourable mention parking? No, I don't think you did.
and you know Marvin, the guy they shoot in the face?
Yes.
That's Phil Lamar, voice of
I
Phil
found
Lamar.
that.
And Aquaman in Injustice 2 and Hermes in Futurama.
Interesting. There's so much good stuff going for it. But let's move on now. Iraklis, how can you possibly top that?
I can't, to be honest. I was thinking, I wanted to put in my list a comedy film with my favorite comedian, let's say, Jim Carrey.
I'm interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I was between two films, I chose Ace Ventura 2.
Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. Yes.
Ace Ventura 2.
I love that film. I'm right there with you on that one, Iraklis.
I haven't seen it.
My favorite Jim Carrey, and I've seen a lot of Jim Carrey's, if not every movie of his. Like Truman Show, I remember this was not a comedy, but anyway, should I say something about the film?
Please do.
If you haven't seen it, you are missing. Definitely missing. Anyway, he was a pet detective. Was the number 2, the sequel of the movie, the first movie. And he was hired by someone to find a missing bat, white bat, a rare bat.
The great white bat.
He had to go to Africa to search for this bat, and he despised this bat.
There's one animal he doesn't like when it was bats.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about the bat.
Anyway, I cannot describe him. I don't have the English to describe more things. So if you haven't seen it, you're missing. You should see.
Yeah, he's right. If you haven't seen it, you are missing out. You should go and watch that. Both of them are great films.
It's basically the first film just cranked up to 11.
Yeah. Slinky, slinky, everyone loves the slinky.
Guano balls, collect the whole set. Like, I could quote that film forever.
I cannot describe it. That's easy.
So this puts us all in a four-way quandary here, and you're going to get these are emotionally charged choices from everyone on this podcast. Massively emotionally charged. Terminator 2: Judgment Day. What else can I say? Avengers Endgame. What else can I say? I love it 3000. Pulp Fiction. Nothing else you can say. Uma Thurman and John Travolta reinventing themselves on camera in front of our eyes in a dance.
What do you have to say about Pulp Fiction is this?
And Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Oh, I don't know.
The poll is now beginning. It has begun.
It has begun.
Right, I'm voting for not mine. Just so everyone knows.
Oh, don't forget, Terminator 2 is apparently, by its very nominator, a little bit too low.
That's not what I said.
This is close. Come on, Pulp Fiction. Quality.
It would be remiss of me to not vote for Pulp Fiction
Quality
based on
over
the haranguing
MCU.
I received.
Let's go. Ace Ventura has...
That's very tight so far.
Very tight. My goodness, who... Heracles, you should be proud of this moment.
Oh, come on, Pulp Fiction!
Come on,
You're
Pulp
the
Fiction.
Best. Is it the best? Oh, Pulp Fiction, Ace Ventura 2 end in a tie.
Oh my goodness! We're gonna have a revote. We are going to have a revote. Oh, sorry. I couldn't. Okay, Mrs. Bulk wanted to ask me a question to do something so I turned off my mic, but that clearly turned off Harps' audio, where he was telling people to vote for Pulp Fiction. Okay, so let's do it.
Okay,
let's do the recount. Let's do the recount. That was super close.
Here's the new poll. Everybody has to vote for one of these. If you don't vote, I will sow cress seeds into your carpet as a sign of protest. You've got to vote for one of them.
Come on, Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How can...
Oh,
I'm not sure. Oh, what? Are you just doing this for a joke? I swear.
I voted Ace Ventura.
Why? You're doing it for a joke.
It's a bit of a curveball. I didn't see it coming.
I love that.
And I'm so glad Eric put it in there.
But that's all the votes. There's 11 votes.
You can't let Ace Ventura win this.
You've let Ace Ventura win it.
You can't let Ace Ventura win this. I can't say why, but you can't let Ace Ventura win this. No.
You've let it... Panda's gone and done the unthinkable.
It's done. That's 7-5 now.
Panda, what have you done?
What have you done?
It wasn't just me. It's 7-5. Someone else as well.
Someone else
Not
did
like
it also.
this. Not like this. Ace Ventura 2 is the eighth most favorite film, according to us, according to you. Did not see that coming. Oh, that's awesome.
I think I'm losing some of the will to live right now.
Someone else better have Pulp Fiction in their list.
I don't have it on my list. Does anyone else have Pulp Fiction?
It's in my honourable mentions.
Ooh, Is it not going to? Is that film not going to make it into the top 25 best most favorite films of all time?
No, it's not, because unless Heracles has got it like in his top 7, you've both only got it as an honourable mention. So, yes, you.
Oh,
how
man.
could you do that? How could you guys do? I hope you could live with yourselves. I hope you could wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and realise what
You
you've
go
done.
and watch Ace Ventura 2 first before you judge.
I can't believe it was put in there. That's ridiculous.
So,
I mean,
it
it is endlessly quotable. You know, you must be the Monopoly guy, thanks to the free parking. I could quote it all day.
Thank you, Whit. I'm
Please.
glad that someone's on our side. Well done, Whitney. Panda.
Thanks, Whit.
He's sore about Endgame, is what it is. Okay, so let's move on. It's Harplarp with your number. I think it's Harps. Is it Harps with your number?
It's Panda now,
Oh, it's Panda.
because I said Terminator 2.
Yeah, because Heracles went last. It's you.
What?
He did. I thought I said Terminator 2 first.
Oh, yeah,
though.
so Heracles went last, so... hang
Oh
on.
yes, it's me. It is
It
me.
is you, yeah,
If
yeah,
you went
it's you,
first,
Panda.
obviously.
It's you.
It's me. Yeah.
It's always
All
been
right.
you, Panda.
All right, Panda, come on.
It's me. Right, my number 7 is another MCU film, which I thought initially wasn't as good as Endgame, but given time to sort of mull them all over in that, I think Infinity War is actually better than Endgame. So that's my.
You're
number
right there. Yeah.
because I actually used to argue with you about this, Harps, that Endgame was better, but the way
Incorrectly.
Infinity War ends with half of all the heroes just boom gone. Do you know what I mean? It's like it was kind of. I don't know whether you did see it coming. It was like surely they wouldn't do that, and then bang, they just do it at the end and just kill off half of the heroes, and it sets Thanos up as this big, obviously like unstoppable force that.
Yeah. And then they kind of ruined him in the sequel.
Yeah, he just gets ploughed by an axe.
Yeah.
It's so good though. It's so good because I kept calling it Thanos. I was like, it's not Infinity War. It's just
Thanos
2 hours of watching Thanos turn up and win, and then credits. And it was just awesome. And then the
Exactly,
sequel,
and that is what makes it so awesome, because it wasn't a big happy ending where the heroes win like they usually are. So, just an absolutely awesome film, like you just said. So,
Well, can we
Anyman says, I
actually
feel like
sing,
Infinity War kind of had no plot.
Can we
Thanos
sing
was
the
after
song,
the Infinity Gems. That's the plot.
yeah, and he comes up and just wipes out everyone in his way and gets them all.
Yoink, yoink. Oh wait, it's over there. Yoink.
Literally yoinks it straight out of Vision's head.
Yeah, it's so good. And then of course, like one of my reasons for thinking Infinity War was better than Endgame after I saw Endgame was Endgame was never going to be better than Infinity War because Endgame had to have like at least 45 minutes of just like wrapping everything up. It had to have all this. Oh no, Tony Stark died, and we have to be sad about that. And they had to set up so much stuff, and then wrap up a load of stuff. Infinity War was just like the bases are loaded, it's action all the way up to the end credits.
Bang.
And just logistically, Endgame couldn't do that. So I went in there thinking it wouldn't be as good, but it did have Fat Thor though, so pretty good.
Can we sing the Tobey Maguire song then? He's not Tobey Maguire, but can we sing the song?
What song?
There's a Tobey Maguire song.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, he does everything a spider can. Yeah, that one?
Shoots a web
No, not that one.
in the
No, other one.
sky.
No.
Bolt's got his own one that he did a minute
Everything's
ago.
going dark. I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark. Watch out. There goes your Spider-Man. Yeah, so
Oh, you mean a Tom Holland Spider-Man?
Tom Holland one, yeah. Tom
Yeah.
Holland. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait, is he on about that song that played when he became emo Peter Parker? Is that what's
I
happening?
was
I think
singing
when he was
that.
dancing through the street.
I was singing that song in classes at the time that the movie was coming out, and like the kids were like, "Too soon, Sensei, too soon."
And you were like, that means I've done it at the right time.
that line was improv by Tom Holland.
Well, I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, I don't feel too good, Mr. Stark. That whole thing, yeah, it was all. A lot of that film was actually improv between Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
their
didn't actually find that
interactions in
line-
the spaceship with that big geezer that's sticking things in Doctor Strange. I can't remember his name, but a lot of their interactions there were all improv as well. So
Well,
What is that guy's name?
out of the two,
Ebony Moore, is it Ebony?
Ebony Moore, that was it.
Yeah.
between Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr., I know who I'd trust to ad-lib and improvise. It's the guy with the beard.
The one that keeps spoiling things.
Okay, so
Wow.
in Infinity War, number 7, strong pick. It is a strong pick, but quite frankly, there can be only one. My number 7 is Highlander. Christopher Lambert as the most French-Canadian Scottish Highlander you could possibly imagine. Sean Connery as the most Scottish, Spanish conquistador you could possibly imagine. And
I feel we should remind everyone that Sean Connery is quite the misogynist. Let's continue.
facing the Kurgan, there can be only one Highlander. Queen does the whole soundtrack in a time when...
you've just jumped it up several notches.
Oh, yes. It's a kind of magic. That was from Highlander. So It's a Kind of Magic.
Really?
Yes.
Every time I hear that, I think of furniture adverts.
So It's a Kind of Magic was written for Highlander. It was the main, the main theme, okay? Because it is a kind of magic. That's how to best describe it. You have to keep chopping people's heads off until you're the last one left. So, Christopher Lambert, who does his best as Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, but with no Scottish accent there. And Sean Connery coming in as Ramirez, who is meant to be a time-travelling Spanish immortal, who just sounds like he's from Glasgow. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But Sean Connery, Christopher Lambert, everyone's favourite Raiden, doing his bit,
that's true.
Yes, doing his bit with a very famous Japanese katana. It's actually a replica of the Emperor's sword. That's why it's so beautiful. If you don't know the plot of Highlander, basically there are these immortals that happen to be on Earth. There are these immortal beings, and the only way to kill them is to separate their head from the rest of their body. So, as such, they all got very good at swordplay. So it's a swashbuckling, time-travelling fest, and they have to chop each other's heads off. When someone's head gets chopped, when an immortal's head gets chopped off, their life force and experience transfers into the person what did the head chopping, until there can be only one left, until there's only one immortal left, and they will be the strongest, and so on. And their prize for doing all of that is they lose their immortality. What a great sentiment. Their prize for having an eternity of combat to find the final immortal, the last one left on Earth, is that they will become mortal and they can just die.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
It's a really cool... And I don't know if the story or the fact that Queen does the soundtrack is cooler, or that you've got Sean Connery in there, thrusting his sword around, if you know what I mean, and Christopher Lambert, everyone's favourite Raiden. What's not to like? Okay, so it is a kind of magic. Highlander is my number 7. Heracles.
Nice.
Number 7 is Jurassic Park, the first one.
Bangers.
Too low.
I was going to win until you said that, Heracles.
It was the first time I saw a decent, beyond decent actually, film with dinosaurs. Great film. Kinda old.
CGI holds up today.
Yes.
The CGI, some of the CGI does. The practical effects definitely do.
Yeah, it wasn't CGI. I can't say much. I mean...
It's Jurassic Park, you know?
It's too low.
Oh my god, Panda with his too low. You should have changed your name to the petulant It's Too Low Panda.
I love dinosaurs, and the movie still feels good unless you watch Great Movie Mistakes and see all the wires.
Yes, that's why I don't watch that.
It was great lines, great Adventures.
Didn't say the magic word.
Clever girl.
It was awesome.
Samuel L. Jackson again. Only a minor role, but he crushed it.
Yeah, but he's much better in Pulp Fiction.
He is. Yes. Clever girl. I say that to this day. I'll be playing Rocket League and I'm trying to get the ball and someone comes at me from the side and I'm like, oh, they clever girled me. Oh.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay. What did we go? Jurassic. This is 3 massive hitters right there, in my opinion. Harpalop, how are you going to possibly contend?
Oh, well, okay. I just have to see what year it was made so I can get it right. Okay, that's what year it was made. Right, so, Jurassic Park, it's good. Some might say it's too low. Avengers Infinity War, it's good. Some might say it's too low. Highlander, sounds good.
It's great.
Can't really say much more than that.
I might actually watch that now.
You've seen it before, right? Haven't you, Pat? You
No, I haven't seen it before.
You haven't seen Highlander before?
Danny'd it.
Danny'd it. Oh, man. Bulk has to recover, so while he's trying to recover from that, I'm just going to say Disney's Aladdin, 1992. I mean, come on. Robin Williams is the genie. The music slaps to this day. You know, I can't think of the names of them. They slap so hard. there's Friend Like Me, you know, Prince Ali, such and such, and the words and such. I'm not putting forward a good case, but Disney's Aladdin is so good. It was one of the earlier films to feature some CGI with all the lava, as it was coming out of the Cave of Wonders, which itself was actually CGI. Jafar, of course, he's like, I'm not even going to try and hide the fact I'm a villain. Clearly I'm a villain. Princess Jasmine, who's basically her entire character trait is, man, I hate being a princess. But Aladdin, he's just a likable, lovable street rat. You know, he's got his friend Abu, the monkey. He steals some bread, and he's a good guy at heart. He has to give the bread to the little chilblains so that they don't go hungry. You know, he's the thief with a heart of gold. And the music still slaps, and the animation still rocks, and it's so good. Robin Williams, one of his best roles, let's face it. And of course, there's the famous theory that it's actually set many centuries in the future, which is why Robin Williams can do his impressions of characters who wouldn't have existed at the time of Aladdin had it been set in the past. It is clearly set in the future. Disney's Aladdin, it's not going to win, but it should.
You put Aladdin above Terminator 2 on your list.
Yeah, the
yes, because I love it.
Strange.
It's so. I watched it so much. I'm not saying it's a better film. I'm saying I loved it more.
Okay, fair enough.
I watched it so much as a kid.
It's
the
opinions.
Music. I used to watch unlike a lot of these films on this list, Aladdin actually does have sequels. They actually do exist. Aladdin, The Return of Jafar is a decent sequel. The third film doesn't exist, but Aladdin 2 does. And the TV show, I used to watch every Saturday morning, boom, Disney's Aladdin, the TV show. So good, Disney's Aladdin. But everyone's going to go and vote for these films that are too low. To quote a certain panda, and since I'm now done,
you talk about the music in Aladdin being, you know, a whole new world of oral pleasure, but
such a good song.
It's not the same as having Queen do your soundtrack, is it?
It's well, put it this way: I've heard Queen songs that are bad. I've not heard a bad song in Aladdin.
You can't argue with that.
It's foolproof logic.
Controversy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Queen's amazing.
Welcome home, Che Guevara on drugs. Get your voting finger ready because I need your help here. Yes. Highlander's got to beat Aladdin, surely.
Exactly. See, Wit's saying there was a third Aladdin movie. Yes, and it featured. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. It featured his long-lost dad, who was like the leader of a band of thieves, and of course, at the end of the film, he had to leave his dad and everything.
It's played by the guy who does Gimli, isn't it? It's played by John Rhys Davies, his dad.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, I've seen it.
Probably.
So I can't. I hate to say it, but I've got like a triple pack of other Aladdin movies after 1 and 2. There's 5. Yeah. There's 5 movies that I am cognizant of, and that's crazy. I mean, bad road.
In my world, there's only 2. So. So anyway, Will tried to say how good it sound, but yes, I mean, the third Aladdin film that doesn't exist, it was I believe it was kind of like a sequel to the TV show. I think they did it to sort of end the run of the TV show. But I might be making that up since the third film doesn't even exist. And with that, I think it's time to start the poll.
It is indeed.
Vote now.
Vote now for Highlander, better in every way than Aladdin.
Except every way. I mean, look, don't vote for Infinity War or Jurassic Park, because you're probably going to
Will Trap is in the chat. He surely will vote for Highlander, because it's basically For Honor.
I thought you were going to say it's basically his life story.
Danny likes the idea of Highlander, because there can be only one Danny Sadiq. End of story. Surely Whitney's on the Highlander train. Surely.
Would you describe Highlander as fantastic, though?
Yes.
Good.
Even the TV series that spun off it isn't that bad at all. It's actually pretty watchable. Forget the plot, because after the first Highlander movie, they just lay waste to the plot, because it was such a success that Jurassic Park, nice one. There we go. Clever Heracles right there. Clever Heracles. Right, he hunts in packs like the pandas in the wild.
And I was concerned Heracles was going to come up with a lot of weird, obscure films, but he's been naming some bangers.
All right, he has.
Yeah,
I think we should have a recount on Ace Ventura versus Pulp Fiction.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Right. I believe it's me now. I wonder how we're going to go with this one. My number 6 favoritist and greatest and bestest movie of all time has been mentioned by another of my compatriots here in a previous stream when they had it far too low. But it's not that one.
Oh, it's not that one.
It's Aliens. What else can I say about it? Panda is thinking,
it's too low.
It's a little bit low, but it's basically in the ballpark, and I don't know what it's going to be facing at this rate. Aliens, that's right. Miller Wonder, welcome home, girl. Welcome home to the chat there. Aliens, number 6. This is we're going to do these before we have a very short break. So welcome home to Mila. There you go. One of my favouriteest artists in all the world. But Aliens is one of my favouriteest movies of all time. What can you say about it? It absolutely just blows anyone's fragile mind, from the introduction of colonial space marines to the fact that we have not just one, not just two, not just several, but hundreds of these xenomorphs running around the place. If you do watch the director's cut, which I do, look, Che Guevara on Drugs had Pulp Fiction in their top 10. So I feel bad now. Anyway,
we're not on number 8. What number are we on? 6.
We're on 6.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on 6.
Oh,
so
okay.
Aliens, the Alien Queen, Sigourney Weaver as the baddest of badasses, conducting badassery.
Oh, the scene with the forklift walking thing.
Yes. So she goes from having something like 31 minutes before the entire planet, the entire site that they're in, vaporizes in a nuclear mushroom cloud to save Newt. She's on a massively restricted timeline to try and save this girl. She tools up like she's a girl in the East End, gets in there, just takes on everyone and an alien queen, and kills the entire brood of eggs, and saves the girl, and then comes back, only to then have transported the alien queen back to the Sulaco. No, the Sulaco, and have to then go in not hand-to-hand combat, but claw to mechanical claw combat in one of the in a real life, it's obviously staged, but in a real life mech warrior battle suit, which is a thinly veiled pretense to the fact, they call it a loader, but let's face it, it's designed for destruction. So
It's a fancy pickup forklift truck, is what it is.
get away from her, you be-ouch. Indeed.
It's so iconic.
The
man.
quotable lines. Frankly, for my other three friends here on the podcast, it's game over, man. It's game over.
They come out at night
you did that,
mostly. They mostly come out at night. And of course, yeah, the alien in Mortal Kombat X having the Queen show up in one of the fatalities and doing what she did to Bishop in that film.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
That man got
Aliens
shanked.
is good.
My man got shanked and tossed. All in one go. Okay, Heracles, do you think you or any of your other compatriots could beat Aliens for number 6?
The thing is, part of me wants aliens to win, because
Then let
I'm
it
afraid it
win.
will not be in the top 10 in the end. Anyway, my number 6 is The Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh.
Solid pick.
Yes, it's very solid.
Because I like horror movies. It was a psychological horror movie, you'd say, with Anthony Hopkins. Mainly, it's Anthony Hopkins. It's one of my favorite actors, and it was awesome. I can say a few things, but as far as I remember, there was this FBI agent, I think, Clarice,
Yes, Clarice.
who wanted to catch a serial killer, and she wanted to know how to get in a serial killer's mind, to know how they think. So she reached out to
To Hannibal
Hannibal
Lecter.
Lecter,
Yep.
Anthony Hopkins, who was a psychiatrist, right? Psychiatrist, and he used to eat. He was a cannibal.
Hannibal the Cannibal.
Yes. Okay, he didn't. He wasn't the main person in this movie. The main villain. But he was he's the reason I put this film this high, to be honest.
Yeah, 'cause
He's one of the best actors ever, in my opinion.
One of the greatest, both literature and cinematic bad guys of all time, Hannibal Lecter, and he isn't even the main bad guy in this movie, is he? He's not actually meant to be the man that's bad. You just grow attached to him. You grow really fond of Hannibal Lecter. You want to see him get out and do well, but him doing well is killing people and eating their brains, as we find out.
That surprised me a lot the first time I saw it, because I just thought he was going to be the bad guy, but he's a what do you call it? Consultant, basically.
True fact. Where can I find the 25 to 11 without watching the video? Just the list.
I just posted it.
You can. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a Twitter status where you can see the list right there. Che Guevara on drugs. There you go. You'll
And I'm allowed to post links. Nightbot can't do anything to me.
You'll be super surprised at what ones of my choices got beaten. Okay. Okay. Silence of the Lambs, number 6. Harpalarp, where are you going to go with that?
Well, I'm going to go with a film that obviously I think is better than those two, because Silence of the Lambs, it wasn't even on my honourable mentions, honestly. It's not really a film I got into much as a kid, and Aliens I did love as a kid, but as we all know, I placed it in its rightful place much lower down the list, because films like Finding Nemo exist. Bulk space. Finding Nemo, the greatest Pixar film of all time, the second greatest animated film of all time. It is the reason why The Simpsons is bad now, because you can check the timeline. just before The Simpsons started becoming really bad, Disney bought a load of the writers from The Simpsons to make a film called Finding Nemo, which explains why Finding Nemo is so good and why The Simpsons became bad. So in a way, I'm kind of blaming Finding Nemo for The Simpsons becoming bad, but that's just to explain to you why it's so good. I saw Bob looking with his quizzical look. Of course, Aliens is a very good film. It's an incredibly good film, but I just loved Finding Nemo more. It's dare I say, a perfect film. There is nothing wrong with it. I guess Aliens is also a perfect film. But
yes. Yes, Aliens is a perfect film.
Yeah, it is a perfect film. But Finding Nemo... There's one thing Aliens... You'll probably disagree with this, but Finding Nemo has heart. And Aliens, not so much. For me, watching Aliens, it was always
No. Aliens
shoot the aliens. Shoot them good. Shoot those aliens good.
I would contest that Aliens absolutely has heart. Aliens absolutely has heart, because where else are they going to burst from?
From the stomach.
Yes, they go through the heart on the way through the chest. So
and then in the sequel to Aliens, they killed the heart off screen in the credits.
Well, let's just talk about that one. Yeah.
Yes, and unlike Aliens, Finding Nemo actually has a sequel that's good. I did not think it was going to be good, but it was good. It was better than I was better than I was thinking it was going to be. Still not Finding Nemo.
Okay, Finding Dory is a good movie, but let's face it, it's all about the octopus.
Yes,
it's all about the octopus.
We should have called it Octopus.
Yes, because if you take the octopus out, it's just the same movie as Finding Nemo.
Like that's a bad thing. He's like, if you take the octopus out, it's just perfection. Finding Nemo is so good. I mean, when the little octopus inks, come on, and the Ray, Mr. Ray. Oh, it's a lovely day down at the coral and such. I mean, come on, you see. And of course, speaking of tragic deaths in films, Nemo's unnamed. No, she is named.
She is named. Yeah.
Nemo's mum dies, and then the bit where Marlin finds the one egg that remained after the barracuda attack, and the egg is cracked, and you realize that the egg being damaged is why Nemo has a little gimpy fin. Finding Nemo is so good, mate. It's basically, like I said, it's the second best animated film of all time, and it's hard to say it's better than Aliens, but I put it higher than Aliens, so there's that.
It's really hard to say it's better than one of probably the best action movies of all time, one of the best science fiction movies of all time, one of the best horror movies of all time.
It's a more pleasant atmosphere to be in than Aliens. I'll say that. Aliens is great. Now I'm not trying to poo-poo Aliens. I'm not trying to poo-poo Aliens. Come on, it's Aliens. But come on, if you said I want to have a fun time, Finding Nemo. If you said I want to be in dark, dank corridors with things coming out of the goddamn walls, man, then yeah, Aliens.
Look, what am I going to use? Harsh language? The thing about the thing about the chat. The thing about the that was a line, by the way.
Oh,
it's when they have to hand over their. So we can't have any explosions in there. We need to small arms only. Have to incinerators and small arms. Yeah, you have to hand over your ammunition. You can't do that. So what are we going to use? Harsh language.
Yeah, I remember now.
So, the thing about the stream chat is in the stream chat, no one can hear you scream. Right.
Wasn't that a line from the first Alien?
Yeah, but they reused it.
It was so good they used it twice. Kind of like the plot to Finding Nemo. So yeah, I see Will Tripp saying, for once I would say Harps is tripping. Well, I pity the fool that doesn't think Finding Nemo is their 6th favourite film of all time. Pity that fool.
It's good. There was a reference to it today, actually, because one of the members of the team, who's getting much better at their English, has taken upon themselves to read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And I immediately wrote back in the chat, Finding Nemo. It's where they get the... and Iroquois knows, because that's where it's Captain Nemo, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah. I saw you type that, and I was like, see, Bulk knows how awesome that film is. Not even in his top 25, is it? God,
no, it's
how can you subscribe to this guy? Please do subscribe to him, though. Finding Nemo, second best animated film of all time. Let's go.
Right. I don't know if I can beat Finding Nemo because Finding Nemo is a great film. And
aliens? I don't know if I can beat.
When Bulk said aliens, I was looking at the wrong number, and I actually have aliens at number 6 as well. So
Yes!
I don't need to beat Bulk because I agree with Bulk.
Let's go!
I looked at it and I was like, hang on, what number are we on? And yeah. Everything Bulk said about aliens, pick aliens because Finding Nemo is great, but it's not quite aliens, is it? Do you know what I mean? And Harps did have it way too low. It's an absolutely amazing film.
You've got it too high. Every stream so far, there's been one point. Every stream where we've been doing these lists, there's been one point where two of us have placed something in the exact same place.
The stars have aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that
it's a sign. They're like, don't pick this one.
Yeah, you could say that the stars out there, even in the deep space, they've aligned to find the right answer. Where us on LV426 are just sitting waiting for the votes to come in for, quite frankly, something which is a bit better than fish.
Che Guevara and Drugs says Finding Nemo is great, but if you think it's on this list, you need to watch more films. I've seen plenty of films. I'm not saying Finding Nemo is objectively better than the films that are below it in my list. This is just how much I love these films, like as personal preference. Because if it was a list of what are the best films, everyone would just go Shawshank, Citizen Kane, all these other films that everyone else always puts. But this is just films that mean a lot to us when we look back on them and go, man, I love that film so much. That's why I had Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in my top 25. Do I think it's better than Pulp Fiction? No. But I had more fun with it.
When I was... Sorry, go ahead.
I finished.
When I was I would hazard a guess at 11 or 12 years old. I watched Aliens so many times that I memorized the entire dialogue. I could... when I wasn't watching that movie, or another movie that's in my higher up in the top 10, when I wasn't watching either of those two movies, which both involve extraterrestrial beings and action, and
both have appeared in Mortal Kombat at some point.
Yes. When I wasn't watching those two movies, I was definitely just going word for word and reciting everything. I love the whole stuff. The converted airport truck that they turned into a tank, and that sort of stuff. And then trying to make their way back to the transporter. And come on, aliens.
I had Aliens toys as a kid. I had it was like a flying alien. You press a button on its back and its wings would go. I had a scorpion alien with a scorpion tail, and you would press a button on the alien's stomach and it would explode into bits and stuff that you'd have to put back together. I had some alien toys when I was a kid, not gonna lie.
Ellen Ripley for a Mortal Kombat game. That's a good shout. Yes.
Yeah, she's already got a skin in MK11.
Jackie's got a skin for her, isn't she?
There you go. So, let's get the votes going. Frankly, if you don't vote for the right one here, aliens, then you've got acid for blood. So,
all right,
let's go.
The poll is now alive. Is everyone going to be heartless or just go for the objectively superior movie?
Let's Hunter774. You're part of the reason why Pulp Fiction got beaten by... What did it get beaten by? Ace Ventura When Nature Calls.
That beat Endgame as well. That beat Pulp Fiction and Endgame.
Yeah.
There's controversial picks in every one of these ones, I'm telling you. But come on, not this time. We lost Pulp Fiction. We lost Endgame.
We need to get aliens in there.
We got to get aliens in there, people. We've got to get aliens in there.
Oh, yeah, because Panda's not going to have it higher up his list, is he?
No, he's not. No. We've got to have it. We've got to have it.
I mean, look, if Aliens has... Because everyone lost the opportunity to vote it in the list earlier, so now they're by default forced to vote it in now.
So
it's kind of political.
Harps.
I don't like it.
It's a technical... It's a TKO for Harps right there, because his choice did get in, and makes him look better now. So yes, there we go. Aliens. Let's go. Acid for blood. 2 mouths are enough, not one. Okay, 1 mouth is never enough.
Yeah, speaking of Ebony Maw, the alien has an Ebony Maw, doesn't it?
Who's Ebony Maw?
I wonder if that's a reference. Because the inner mouth of the alien is called a maw, and it's black. Which, it's called a maw. And ebony is.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Yeah, ebony is a shade of black,
yes.
So it's an ebony maw, like the guy from Avengers we were talking about earlier.
Who's Ebony Maw?
He's the guy in Endgame and Infinity War that like rides around on flying rocks, and he's Thanos' right-hand man.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh yes, my excellency. Oh yes, or whatever his lines were.
I did
He
not
reads up
know.
that speech, doesn't he, about how they're blessed to be killed by him and that.
Well, I didn't know that the inner mouth of the of a xenomorph was that. I was obsessed by H.R. Geiger when I was a teenager doing art. When I was still arty. Yeah, H.R. Geiger was like a lot of my inspiration. Yeah.
There's crazy designs from that brain. Crazy designs.
Indeed. Anyway, so far we have compiled the bottom half of our top 10. It's now going to get into the thick of the action after we've had a very short break, in which time we're basically getting old. We need to have a pee break. So we're going to have a very short break. Stay tuned, get yourself some snacks, and when we come back, we're going to do honourable mentions. We promised TC Irish that we could do some his top thing. I don't know if we can do 25 or 10. We'll see what we can do. We can just squeeze it in, and then we're going to get into the top five. Top five, yes. Okay, right. See you after this very short break.
Pardon me.
Right, change the bed right quick, because we're now down to the serious playtime of the top 5. Before we do so, is there any way we can get a communication right quick from our man on the inside, Team Considerable, the Irish guy, Mr. Ender himself? Can you please somehow, perhaps on Twitter, get us a very brief rundown of your top 25 while we do our honourable mentions, the ones that didn't quite make it into our top 25. So let's start with Iraklis. Would you like to start off with your honourable mentions while we're waiting for Irish to get back to us?
Yeah, I kind of... Okay. Well, honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Terminator 2. Predator.
Wow.
These are
Those
two
two.
top 10.
Yeah, these two aren't in the top 10. Okay.
Well, yes, but The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. Also. And well, I don't have the rest ones, to be honest.
Okay.
Not with me.
Cool. Right. I think we want to save Harple up till the end.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
Panda,
Yeah.
would you like to go for your honourable mentions?
Yeah, I'm just going to fire them off. I've got some good ones there. I've got The Shawshank Redemption, Toy Story, Pulp Fiction, Independence Day, Jurassic World, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, all of the Star Wars franchise. I'm actually a bit surprised I didn't put a Star Wars film in there, but yeah, the whole Star Wars franchise, The Equalizer, and Man on Fire, two of my favourite Denzel Washington movies. The Thing.
Which one? The remake or the original with
the original,
with
not the remake. Yeah,
okay, with
when did that one come out? Was
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell,
Yeah,
yes,
Kurt Russell,
79, something
70
like that.
something,
Yeah,
wasn't
that.
it? Yeah.
Oh, the scene at the end where they're just looking at each other in the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah,
You're like,
and it's like, which
I
one's
know
which?
I'm not the thing,
There's
and I
theories
know
about
I'm
that
not
as well,
the thing.
Yeah, my favourite Jim Carrey movie, Liar Liar.
Okay,
Die
that's a good
Hard
film.
2, Django Unchained, which is another great Tarantino film.
It's not
Black
Pulp
Hawk Down.
Fiction, but yes, it's a very good Tarantino movie.
Oh, is it not Tarantino? Is it?
It's not Pulp Fiction, but it's a very good Tarantino
Oh,
movie.
right, yeah. Black Hawk Down, Back to the Future, the whole franchise. Even 3 harps.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to include all of them. If you're going to put the
Yeah.
2 best on there, you might as well throw the 3rd on top.
Total Recall, Team America, Forrest Gump, Titanic, RoboCop, and Enemy at the Gates.
I like Enemy at the Gates. That's
Yeah.
low key. It's a good.
It's another great war movie. I do like war films,
Yeah.
and that was close to being quite high up my list, but then got cut. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, now I've got a very small list of honourable mentions. Yeah, a very small list. In no particular order, alphabetical or otherwise. Movies that did not make the cut, but my god are they amazing. Shawshank Redemption, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Infernal Affairs, which is the movie that Departed was. So Infernal Affairs is the Chinese movie that The Departed was based on.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes. Hard Boiled, John Woo classic. If you haven't seen the old Hong Kong John Woo movies, my god, Hard Boiled. Yes. Let me see. Jaws, Born Identity, Italian Job, the original, The Great Escape, Fast and Furious, the first one, when the cars actually meant something, they weren't just stuff that gets blown up. 28 Days Later,
Ooh, that's a good choice.
2001 Space Odyssey.
Never seen it.
It's a journey, it's a long one, but oh my god. Soylent Green. I didn't put it anywhere near my 25, just purely because it's got Charlton Heston in it. I don't like him.
You damn dirty apes.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say Butch and Sundance.
Yes,
the early
Butch
years.
and Sundance, the early years.
Yeah, I knew that was
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Outstanding movie. It's you should watch it with your family. You should watch it all time. California with a K. The one with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis and David Duchovny, where Brad Pitt plays a serial killer and he goes on a road trip with Daniel Duchovny and his girlfriend, and their road trip is to go and visit serial killer sites because they're doing like research on a book for serial killers, and he turns out to be a serial killer. Talladega Nights and Anchorman, both in there. Kronos, which is a Spanish horror movie. Heat, which is just, I don't know what else to say about Heat, but yeah, Val Kilmer, lots of guns, Val Kilmer and all of that stuff. Monsters Ball, Devil's Advocate, The Untouchables. You bring a knife to a gunfight. You know, that old one.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Tokyo Sonata, a great Japanese language thing, which you should do. It's just a great story. Face Off, speaking of John Woo, I want to take his face off.
Face
Alright, all of the action scenes you see in Face Off, they're in Hard-Boiled First. That's, yeah, but it's in Chinese. Last Samurai, Shin Godzilla, which is the Japanese remake of Godzilla, and it's
I heard it was good.
It's great. It's great.
I've seen clips from that on YouTube, just randomly, like late at night, watching Shin Godzilla clips for some reason.
The juniors love Shin Godzilla. They absolutely love Shin Godzilla more than the new Godzilla movies. Okay, Gone in 60 Seconds, the remake with Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie. Full Metal Jacket. I am in a world of poo because Pulp Fiction lost out. 7. Yeah, Blood Diamond. Blood and Steel, which is a French movie with Marianne Cotillard, and it's if you haven't seen it, it's great. Just look it up. Blood. I think it's Os et Sang in French. Star Wars 4, Star Wars 5. Yes.
The end.
Not the end yet. All of the Nolan Batman movies. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Dragnet, great comedy. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Gladiator, Wreck-It Ralph, Blade, Silence of the Lambs, Police Story, Jackie Chan movie.
I've seen it.
Full Metal Jacket for the second time. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, American Hustle. That was a good movie. That was a good one.
Didn't see it.
Time Bandits, if you remember Time Bandits. Brazil. That's an obscure one. It's a good one to look up. Brazil.
I saw that when I was about 13.
Fantastic, and I'm sure it affected you. It's a great movie. It's just probably a little bit too of its time, but it's a great dark comedy. AI. I'm nearly there, people. I'm nearly there. AI. Escape from New York. Rambo: First Blood Part 2. Warriors. Black Rain. Platoon. Cloverfield. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Pretty good.
The Long Good Friday, another Bob Hoskins classic. The Reason Why I Started Karate, Enter the Dragon.
I thought that was the name of a film.
The best martial arts movie of all time, Kung Fu Panda. The Wrestler. Pacific Rim. Miami Vice with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. Low key, great, absolutely brilliant. Obscure one, Vanishing Point, which is in the same era as Bullet, as a car movie, as a road movie. But
I know of a game called Vanishing Point.
Does it have a character called Kowalski in it?
I just know it was a racing game.
The plot of it, very quickly, is Kowalski is an ex-cop, a good cop, who turns car runner for the gangs, and he has to run cars all over America, and he's at the end of a 36-hour shift, and he's fueled on drugs, and he says, "Now I'm going to take this last job. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this job." And he has to take a car from like New York to the other side of the country, and he races the cops across the entire side of the country in a supercharged Dodge Challenger. It's brilliant.
So it's Gone in 60 Seconds meets The Fast and Furious meets Cannonball Run 2 meets.
Yes, it's
there's
the
something
reason
else.
why they all exist, frankly. Princess Bride, frankly, it's not in my top 25. It's inconceivable. And final one, I believe, just let me have a quick check. Yep. Alien.
It's a moderately decent film, I suppose.
So that's my small list of honourable mentions, and there could be a lot more.
Can I say one more?
Please
that I don't have my list here, but I remember one that I wanted to mention. Scarface. With
I remembered to put that on my list and forgot to write it down. Of course, Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. Yes. Yes.
He's got just a table full of cocaine.
Which isn't it's not as good. So say hello to my little friend, I don't think is as good a line as the moment where he doesn't say anything, when he opens the door to his sister's house and he sees his best friend there and just shoots him.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything.
The look on his face.
Look on his face. And it was like, Tony, I forgot to tell you, we got married. Bang!
You said hello to my little sister.
And she said hello to your little friend. Okay. So,
I think we've got Ender's list in the chat. If you want.
we have found Ender's list.
Yeah, let's
I
do
did.
that.
I did say to Whitney as well, and I would, and someone else. Okay, so Epic said, Predator, Mortal Kombat, Mechanic, Liar Liar, Toy Story. No order. Okay. Let me see. Whitney says Forrest Gump, and that's it. That's all I can see from Whitney.
Enders is in the Twitter chat.
Why
Oh,
don't all
Twitter.
gentlemen join this stream with beautiful ties as well? Says Mila Wonder. And I do wonder. Right, where's... Oh, it's in the Twitter chat. Oh, let me quickly get this up here. We have technology. We can do this thing.
We can rebuild him.
We can... Oh my goodness.
Can't believe
All
this.
right. 25 says this is descending from 25 down to 1 from End of the Irish Guy, and we're highlighting him because we promised him, because movies are like his other part of his life apart from being an affiliate Team Considerable streamer. Let's go. Okay. The Revenant, It Follows.
It Follows is great.
Inception. Oh, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Good movie. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. There we go. 20, Jurassic Park. Ferris
low.
Bueller's Day Off. The Truman Show.
Great film. I love that
Great
film.
movie. Great movie. 17, Batman. Mask of the Phantasm. I'm guessing that's animated. That's one of the animated
Yeah.
ones, right?
Apparently, it's widely regarded as like the best animated Batman film.
Okay. Best coming up, the best dragon movie ever made. How to Train Your Dragon. Sin City at 15. Where did I have Sin City? I had it at 17. It's like we're kindred spirits there. American Psycho. Oh, that should have been in my list as well. The Matrix. Good. 1408. The Evil Dead of 2013. So the remake. That's the one with Get the Sickness, isn't it? I think that's Everyone's Got the Sickness. That one. All right. 10. Mad Max Fury Road. The great story of well, it's not of Max, is it? It's Charlize Theron as a one-armed truck driver, isn't it?
It's a 2-hour film chase that never gets boring. It's quite the achievement. Not a film chase. It's a 2-hour car chase.
I'll tell you what Mad Max Fury Road is definitely not. Mediocre. Right, 9, Gladiator. 8, The Green Mile. 7, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 6, Aliens.
Yeah, well, we did. We both had it 6 as well.
Boom! Look,
Everyone's got it too high.
5, 28 Days Later or 28 Weeks Later. He's in his mind are the same. Okay. 4, great movie, Interstellar. 3, The Dark Knight. Where Bruce Wayne unfortunately gets throat cancer, but there we go. 2, Back to the Future trilogy.
Cheating, but okay.
I don't know if you can, because it's now going to, if we cast if we say that about number 2, then number 1's going to be buggered. Number 1, The Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Cheating again, but okay.
Okay, so in that case, I'll just say Back to the Future 1 and Return of the King. How about that?
No, because you're going to start an argument between the three of us. I think 3's the best one.
The second film is the best of each of those trilogies. Let's move on.
Okay, let's just move on before we start arguing about that.
Cheating, I'll allow it. Okay, all right. So there's our honourable mentions, but we've left some time and space for your boy Harpalab up here on my upper left. Would you like to say your honourable mentions?
I would. These are the honourable mentions of your boy Harpalab. Okay, so I'll blast through them because I've got a little tale to tell at the end. So, The Mask, The Truman Show, Men in Black, Labyrinth, Willow, Last Action Hero, Shrek, Twins, the Arnie film with Danny DeVito, Gremlins 2, The Goonies, Batman Returns, the best Tim Burton Batman, Toy Story, Orgasmo, the Naked Gun trilogy. See, I can cheat too, but these are my honourable mentions. Ghostbusters 1 and 2, Kong Skull Island, Guardians of the Galaxy, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, everybody. The Incredibles, Wall-E, Big Trouble in Little China, no one's mentioned that. Avatar, Man of Steel, Enter the Dragon, it's an okay fighting film. Home Alone 2, Mortal Kombat, 1995, Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, Joker, and the film that Panda has been waiting weeks now to find out, and Bulk as well. Okay, you might be wondering why it says The Man Who Cried That One Time as my name, because I'm famously a cold, black-hearted robot who doesn't cry. It's just not a thing I do. I just don't cry. My gran died, didn't cry. I loved my gran. Didn't cry when she died, right? Kind of messed up, but it's true. But this made me cry, right? And Panda's like, what is it? It is the final scene in Toy Story 3. Yes. When I watched Toy Story 3 in the cinema, I saw the first 3 in the cinema. I haven't seen the fourth one yet. Saw the first 3 in the cinema. When I saw Toy Story 3 in the cinema, I wept. Actual human tears from these unused things here. I believe they're called ducts. Actual real liquid came out of them. And here's why. Because it's basically the perfect way to end that story. Dare I say, the perfect ending to anything ever. It couldn't have been better, because as we all know, Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, there's a running theme through these films. The running the elephant in the room, the dagger of Damocles dangling above the head of everyone watching those films. It's that one day Andy's going to grow up, and he's going to stop playing with the toys. They mention that in the first film. They mention it in the second film. It's basically Jessie's entire character arc, that her child grew up and stopped playing with her. And everyone knows that's the saddest part of that film. And in Toy Story 3, as we all know, Andy is going off to college. He's grown up. He's like 17 now. He's got his toys packed away in the garage somewhere, and the toys are scared, that he's forgotten about them. He's left them behind. He's going to never play with them again. He's just going to go to college and live his life. So they think, right, okay, let's just go to a preschool down the road where we can just be played with by these kids forever and ever, because there's just a never-ending supply of these kids being rolled into this school. And it sounds like a good idea, except, spoilers, the preschool happens to be run by a mob boss teddy bear, and it's not a pleasant place to be. They basically turns it into a prison for them. So they decide to escape, and they make it back to Andy. And Andy's driving off to college, and he's got the box of toys, and he's going to give them to this little girl. The cutest little girl you ever did see in an animated film. And he goes there, and he's got this box of toys, and he's opening them up, and she's all like shy and everything, hiding behind her mother, and her mother's like, get out there. And Andy's taking out these toys, and he's like, this is Rex, he's the meanest, toughest dinosaur that anyone saw. Rah! And he gives the little girl Rex, and she's all happy and giggling. And then he pulls out Ham, and he's like, and this is Ham, and he's also the diabolical doctor, whatever his name is, that Harpalab forgot right now. And anyway, he's the bad guy, so there you go. And he does this with all the toys, giving a little speech about them, and then she looks in the box, and there's one toy left. And it's my favorite character in Toy Story, Woody. Back when the first Toy Story film came out, everyone wanted the Woody and Buzz toys. I was all about getting that Woody toy. Never did get one because they were sold out worldwide. So he looks in the box, and there's one final toy, and it's Woody. And he says these words as he picks up Woody, he stares into Woody's eyes, and he says, "Now Woody, he's been my pal as long as I can remember. He's brave like a cowboy should be, and kind and smart. But the thing that makes Woody special is he'll never give up on you. Ever. He'll be there for you no matter what. You think you could take care of him for me?" And when he said that to Woody, who of course, he was in his toy form, so he wasn't like alive or anything, but he was listening. He was hearing this being told to him by his lifelong friend, Andy. And it's so beautiful because he gave all through the films, they were worried that, he's gonna stop caring about them. He's gonna grow up and not play with them and not care about them anymore. But in this one moment, he lets them know that even as he's 17, he's grown up now, he's going to college, he never stopped caring about them. They always meant so much to him. And it's so beautiful that they get to hear this from him as one last thing, and then he plays with them one last time. Him and the little girl, and it goes into a slow-mo montage. You see all the toys being happy as Andy, who they thought had given up and stopped caring, played with them one more time and let them know that he never stopped caring about them. And then, as he's about to leave, you see him look back at the toys, and then he sort of sits there, and then it sinks in like he's never going to see them again. And he sort of starts to drive off. And as he's driving off, you can see the car driving down the lane, and the toys wake up, and Woody's there, and he says, "So long, partner." It's like that one line signifies that he was awake for that. All the toys knew. They finally got to know that he never stopped caring about them. And the final shot of the film is so perfect because as the camera pans up, you see a blue sky with these very particular looking clouds. And it's the exact same clouds that were on Andy's wallpaper in his room when he was a kid. And that's the very first shot of Toy Story 1. The very first thing you see in any Toy Story is the blue sky with the clouds. And that's exactly how Toy Story 3 ends. And just the fact that they got to hear that he never stopped caring about them. And they really got to hear how much he meant to them. Like, they left an impact on him that is clearly going to just be with him for the rest of his life. And now they have a new child to have a new life with. It's just the perfect ending.
This is very, very true, because they go through 3 movies where it's their duty to be there for Andy at all times, regardless,
exactly.
hell or high water.
Exactly.
And they move mountains and potentially sacrifice themselves in the pursuit of making Andy happy. And then he does finally turn around and go, "Yeah, you know what? I kind of like them too." So
yeah, I mean, just that line when Andy says to Woody, he goes, "He'll be there for you no matter what. He'll never give up on you ever." And we've spent 3 films watching them not give up. It's just, I teared up just a little bit retelling that tale. But I'll tell you what, I watched that scene again a couple of weeks ago when I first wrote this list. I watched that scene again and I was crying watching it. It still got me. So there we go. That's why I'm the man who cried that one time. And yeah, Toy Story 3. I really wanted it to be in my top 25, but it's just not good enough.
all that, and it was just an honourable mention.
Yeah, I know, but I had to mention it. I had to let you guys know that I can feel emotion. I am actually human, believe it or not. Oh. All right. Anyway, on to everyone's wrong picks.
Number 5. Okay, so we've changed the music bed because we're now getting into the meat of the sandwich, if you will. We're now going into the thick of things. We are at the hot gates. We've got our 299 buddies next to us. We're about to face down the multitude. I believe it's Heracles' turn, because I went in with. Did I go?
Yeah, you went aliens.
I went aliens. Yes. Oh, sorry. I went with the eventual winner.
We went with the Invincible winner.
We
That was a
did- we
joint
did.
point for the pair of us, Paul.
You see, this is why me and Panda, we share some kind of spiritual connection. He has the panda. And he has the panda, and I have the bulk. It's as simple as that. Right. So, Heracles, what is your number 5 favoritist movie of all time?
Yes, my fifth favorite is has been voted already.
Oh, what is it?
Aliens.
Oh my god, Bulk's gonna win by default.
Oh yeah.
One movie, the best movie out of the whole universe with the aliens, predators. I haven't seen Prometheus though.
It's okay.
Don't waste your time.
Don't worry about previous.
No, watch it. Prometheus is good.
No, it
I'm
isn't.
not going to say it's good. It's worth a watch at least once. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will agree. It's worth
I-
watching so you can know that you wished you shouldn't have seen it.
Exactly, I agree, because all it does, if you watch Prometheus and Covenant, all it does is it makes it makes you go, I'm so glad I've watched Aliens before this. Okay, so there we go, Aliens. Harpalop, what's your number 5?
I would love to regale you with the endlessly quotable Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, but I can't because it's already been locked in, so it's on to Panda.
Yeah, well, I'd love to tell you about how much I love dinosaurs and the practical effects that we used in Jurassic Park, but I can't because it's already locked in. So,
So Bulk wins by default, and we don't even know what it is yet.
well, because yours
That
already
is
locked
too
in.
good. That is too good. Because not many people have seen this movie, but it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's got one of the best soundtracks in a cartoon ever made.
Disney's
And
Aladdin.
In my opinion,
Lion
is
King.
the actual high point of cartoon cinema from this country and its genre, and all other anime are try
Yeah,
to live up to it. It's Akira.
Akira is number 5. Enough said. Number 4.
I won't need to explain.
You had a
Akira's
free
damn
shot,
good.
Bob, and you went with that.
Yeah, so I had Fist of the North Star at number 10. But Akira, that's my that's the final cartoon that I have. If you haven't seen Akira, watch it. Be confused by the last 20 minutes. That's fine.
Yes.
But my God, the visual. I mean, Ghost in the Shell comes real close. It's probably like the movie. The first Ghost in the Shell comes real close in terms of cinematography, art style, music, etc. But Akira, my God, you need it in your lives, and everybody wants a two-wheel drive motorbike with ceramic double rotor engine in there. Everyone wants it.
I bought the Akira bike in Cyberpunk. That was the second vehicle I bought.
It's iconic. Canada! That's all!
Canada!
It's
It's so good. Even subtitled, it was good.
with I think Danny Sadiq is suggesting that even if I was default, I would probably have still lost. As a child, I wanted a laser cannon because, my God. Okay.
Who doesn't want a laser cannon?
Exactly.
What child doesn't? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Who doesn't want a laser cannon to shoot their best mate who turns into a blob? Right. It's now Harpalop for number 4. We really are chugging through these. What's your number 4, Harpalop?
Well, I would love to regale you with how revolutionary The Matrix was, but everyone voted it in way
Number 19.
too low. You're number 19. What were you thinking? Well, now I know how you felt when when I voted Aliens down in the 19 or whatever it was.
Yes.
So I'd love to regale you for The Matrix, but I got to sit this one out. It's already been locked in.
All right.
I
I'll move on
forgot.
to
Sorry,
number 4 then.
there's one more honourable mention. Another Wachowski brother classic. Speed Racer. I forgot about that. We watched it the other night.
They're just the Wachowskis these days.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, there we go. So the Wachowskis. There we go. Right, Panda.
My number 4 is The Green Mile. I know a couple of you guys had that in your honourable mentions, didn't you? But I absolutely love that film. Just everything about that film. It's an absolutely brilliant film and absolute tearjerker. I get quite emotional watching films anyway, but that John Coffey's execution scene, oh mate, it's just a really emotional film, and that the whole story of this guy coming in, he's got these powers and that, and the whole like sub story with, I can't remember the guy's name, the horrible guy that comes in and he's a bit mental, but he ended up it was him that actually did the murdering of the two girls that John Coffey got put in prison for, because you find out John was trying to save these girls. And
is that the film where they didn't wet the sponge? Is that film?
Yeah,
that's a good
Percy, that prison guard. Mate, he gets his comeuppance at the end of that film anyway, or near the end of that film.
Yeah, it's hard to name a character in cinema that they just made you hate more than that guy.
Yeah, it really is. He's, like I say, he gets his comeuppance, and it's just a really beautiful story. Like, he ends up curing the warden of the prison's wife. I think it's got some sort of mystery illness and that, and yeah, it's just I absolutely love that film. If it's ever on, I'll watch it. I made a point of just sitting down and putting it on and watching it. It's just really emotional, great story. So
it's a great movie. It is a great movie.
It is
indeed. Tom Hanks and Shanks. There we go. So, my number 4. Yeah, it is my turn now, isn't it? Okay. So my number 4. I love all of them. I love all 10, apart from Solo. But if I had to pick one,
Phantom Menace.
No, it's
it's
Star
the one
Wars,
that wasn't in the honourable mentions.
Star Wars Episode 6.
I was going to ask what about
The Return of the Jedi.
Yes,
The Return of the Jedi. Feel the hate consume you. It's for me, Star Wars is 4 to 6. Even though it was originally called 4 to 6, so you knew there was going to be a 1, 2, and 3 at least, which was great because 1, 2, and 3 lived up to the promise of the life and times of Anakin Skywalker.
They lived up to all the hype.
Yeah, but in terms of lore-wise, I mean, there's one scene in each of the first 3 movies that you might like. Well, I say first, but the later, the 1, 2, and 3.
The prequels.
The prequels.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there's one scene in each of those movies that you really enjoy it for. So the pod race and Darth Maul. Okay. Whatever it is in number 2. Probably the fight at the end.
it's going to be the Yoda flipping around fighting. What's his face? The old geezer with...
Yoda finally fights outside.
Yeah, Count Dooku. Come on, even I know that.
Outside of Soul Calibur, and then in number 3, of course, it's the final battle. Okay, so there's one scene.
1 and 3 are underrated. 2 rubbish. But...
but. The original, the life and times of Darth Vader, the life and times of Anakin Skywalker, as a whole series, in the same way as Pirates of the Caribbean, for me, is just the life and times of Elizabeth Swann and William Turner. So they have their thing, and then then it ends, and then they have a film in the middle, and then they wrap it up in number 5. Okay, so they realise their mistake, and even Disney realise they need to bring Keira Knightley and the other dude, Orlando Bloom, back in. But Legolas. So, Star Wars Episode 6, though. You've got everything. Yes, okay, there's some Ewoks in there, but in every Star Wars movie, apart from number 4, in fact, even in number 4, there's always an act which you could probably cut out and the rest of the movie's fine. And it's the Ewoks in this one. But the thing you forget about Ewoks is the little furry dudes. Okay, they are the most dangerous race in the whole of the Star Wars universe.
They're furry little killing machines.
You don't realise it because they're tiny. But at the end, they're playing the victory music on the helmets of the stormtroopers. Where's the stormtroopers?
I could kill a stormtrooper, come on.
But what did they do with
These
them?
things are built like teddy bears with sticks and stones.
Yes, but don't forget.
They have traps.
Please don't forget. What were they going to do to Han, Luke, and Leia? They were going to eat them. They were going to cook them as a prize to C-3PO. They were going to eat them. So let's not forget that. These Ewoks.
I wouldn't say having a desire to eat someone makes you the most dangerous race.
They've killed all those stormtroopers, and what did they do with their bodies?
It's how they killed them and their stature as well.
Exactly.
They are built like Build-A-Bears.
Yeah, and they pelted
Well, by that
them with
logic,
rocks.
Tarkatans are the most dangerous race in Mortal Kombat, but we know Shokan are more dangerous.
Well, I'll leave it up to you, but that's just my way of trying to, legitimize the fact that yes, there are Ewoks in there, but you've got
They are hardcore.
you've got the romance between Han and Leia. You've got Luke Skywalker, who the sword fighting scene between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi is, people think, oh, it's only the new ones. They're the ones where you get the real lightsaber fights. Go back and watch it. Actually, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
It's
was
really good.
Maybe I should watch it then, because I'm thinking it was very underwhelming, wasn't it?
Episode 4 was underwhelming with the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, because they literally just do this.
That wasn't a fight though, was it?
Yeah.
And then you have
Someone remade that on YouTube, and it's amazing the way they've remade that. You should check that out.
Yeah, you should check it out. And of course, you've got the impossible odds, the Rebel fleet versus the fully operational Death Star. And then you've got the Emperor coming in, and the final moment of sacrifice of Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, saving his son Luke from the Emperor at the end, and then giving him the burial that he deserves, and so on. So there we go. It's Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. They could have ended it right there. They didn't. I enjoyed 7, 8, and 9. And Rogue One. My God, feel-good movie. Everyone dies.
I saw Rogue One a year or two ago, and I remember thinking that was intensely forgettable.
You seen The Mandalorian?
Look at this Star Wars hater up here.
I'll get there eventually.
He's
You
all
watch
space
Mandalorian,
wizards and
it's good.
laser swords, isn't he? Okay. Right. Where's your number 3, Whitney? Where's your number 3? Right. Iraklis, that's my number 4. Star Wars 6. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the first Avengers movie.
Well, Avengers Assemble.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
the first one was the first time we saw all of our favorite superheroes united together, and I remember there were many lines that were hilarious. Many phrases, catchphrases. It was a comic relief, along with a great movie in general.
I'd never heard of Thanos until I saw that
It's my
film.
favorite out of all the Marvel universe so far.
I mean, it's a damn good film. I mean, we have a Hulk. I mean, come on, legendary line.
It's a good one. Okay, so
With fun.
there are our choices. It's Matrix, you can't vote for it. Green Mile, Avengers Assemble, and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Let's remind ourselves why we're here and actually get a vote going.
Yes, the poll is now live. Which one do I vote for, though? The film I've seen once many years ago, the film I don't know if I've seen ever, or the one that is too high. We don't have a Star Wars film in the list yet, do we?
We don't, no. And I can't believe it's going to get beaten by Avengers and the Green Mile.
No, it's going to be beaten by the Green Mile.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. One sensible person in the chat there. Thank you for condensing that, Whitney. I was prepared to just say it, but there we go. Lovely. Panda, do you agree with Whitney on one particular one of those ones?
Yeah.
Good, because me too. So I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
So the Green Mile.
I said we were last stream, didn't I?
Yeah. So the Green Mile.
The Green Mile
is. All right, before we get into our top three, I'm gonna because obviously we love Whitney. Whitney, number 5, The Grudge, the only movie she's ever walked out of the movie theatre.
So good she didn't watch it all.
That'll mean it'll be the one with Buffy, isn't it? Sarah Michelle Gellar. Grudge.
It's a good film.
It's a good film. The Japanese one was even worse. Okay, 4, Final Fantasy Advent Children. It had a great game attached to it. 3, Alien, very good shout. 2, Get to the Chopper, and then 1.
Ooh, I like how she's put that.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. Interesting choices. A great shout. I absolutely agree with one of those. And Alien does need to be up there as well. For sure. Right, it's now Harpalop, is that right?
No, it's me. Harps didn't go that time, I think.
Oh, it was Harpalop, and he
went Matrix, didn't he?
Okay, Panda, hit us with your rhythm stick.
Well, my number 3 is this film in its rightful place. It's Terminator 2.
Okay.
It is the greatest action film ever made, in my opinion. I say that. second
Folks, like
greatest
aliens
film.
exist though.
But it is one of the best sequels ever made to an already great film. Terminator is a great film. Terminator 2 is better.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course it is. Brave tweet there from Panda.
But yeah, it's already been said. We've already gone over Terminator 2 a couple of times in these streams. It's just an absolutely brilliant film. It's really, really quotable. I think Bolt had it. Did you have it in your top 10, but it didn't win, Bolt? Or?
T2, I had it in. So what I did for my list is when it's a multiple movie franchise, I picked.
You only picked one.
I picked one. I picked Terminator.
Well, you had it as an honourable mention then, but yeah, it speaks.
I had it in number 8.
It's peak Arnie. Playing
Commando exists though, doesn't it?
I knew you were going to say that, but it's my favourite. Oh, it's not even my favourite Arnie film.
It isn't. No, I think we know which one
It's
is.
my second favourite Arnie film.
Terminator 2 is amazing and Arnie is amazing in it, but he's not massively Arnie in it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I'll accept that, but it's still just a brilliant film. We've been over it a couple of times. Terminator 2 is my number 3. It's an amazing action film.
And now, Harpalop, I know now why you cry.
yeah, Danny Sadiq knows now.
Okay, so T2. Right, my number 3. How could I possibly beat Terminator 2 Judgment Day? With Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yes, I went there. My third favourite movie of all time, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The knights that say, "Nee!" And
I fart in your general direction.
yes, your smelly English roast beef, I fart in your general direction.
That's the only scene from that film I've seen.
What about I am the
Holy
Black
Hand
Knight?
Tis but a flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound. Yes, come back, I'll bite your legs off. To cross my bridge, you must answer my question. What is my favorite colour? Well, I don't know that. What is the average flight speed, airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European swallow? What? I don't know that. Where'd you get coconuts in this climate? It's a temperate zone. Will
Apparently
Trapp,
they did
he's
that
on
because
the page. Yes. So
They couldn't afford horses, so they went.
Yes, they had. So they didn't have horses. So what they did is they had the serf, the servant, the manservant, clack 2 coconut shells, while the knight would pretend to be on a horse. It's so funny. So Life of Brian may be better for you, but not for me. For me, it's about the quest for the Holy Grail. Yes, absolutely. Comic genius, and it's the highest placing comedy and feel-good movie I have in my top 25. Made such an impression of a young Bulk you would not believe. My God, there was literally years of my childhood life where friends and I would communicate through the medium of Monty Python quotes. So, your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. We're going to Camelot. It's only a cutout. Oh, it's only a painting, isn't it? All of these things. Gosh, the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Bring forth the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. If you haven't seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, make sure you do before you die, because everyone deserves to laugh at least once, properly. Was
that the one where there's like two guards on a gate and they see a guy who's like really far away coming towards them, and then out of nowhere he's just right up next to them and shanks them? Is that
yes, that is the same one. So there's like three Monty Python movies that really stood out to me. That's Life of Brian, Jabberwocky, and Holy Grail. Holy Grail for me has got to be the best one of the lot. Okay, so that's me and Fred, my brother, quote it all the time. Will Trap, you see, it's because you're so switched on. There you go. Right, Iraklis, how are you possibly going to beat Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. You've already beaten Terminator 2. So, I'm joking.
Yeah, in my number 3 is, in my opinion, the best and my favorite superhero/hero movie. Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger as Joker.
Ooh.
That's a pretty good film.
So the second Nolan, The Dark Knight
It's just The Dark Knight.
It's The Dark Knight. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the movie that we deserve but don't really need right now? I can't. Is that what he says?
That's what he says.
Well, I love everything about this movie, especially Heath Ledger.
There's a lot to love about it. There's a lot.
It was incredible.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've said it before. I mean, Heath Ledger is superb. It's also an incredibly well-written role, which is what stands out. But yeah, even Two-Faces is great in it. Like the character of Two-Faces is like really, really good in it. Okay, Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, and Christian Bale with unfortunate throat issues. Oh, has Harps gone muted?
Yeah, I went muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead, Harpalarp. What's your number 3? Is there anything else you want to say on The Dark Knight, Mr. Iraklis?
Yes, I don't have anything else, but...
Okay. Well, you know how much I love Terminator 2, Panda. You know how much I love it. Not enough to put it higher than 8th, of course. Not enough. Because it doesn't belong higher than 8th, as I've already established. And I was concerned when you put Terminator 2 at number 3. Holy Grail doesn't bother me. But I was concerned when you put Terminator 2 at number 3, because I was like, that is a really hard film for The Dark Knight to beat in a chat vote, isn't it? Oh, and then Iraklis said The Dark Knight, and I was like, oh, that makes it a little bit easier, because historically, I just want to point this out to everyone, historically in the chat, whenever two people have said one thing, that's been what's voted for, because The Dark Knight is just better. Well, I can't say that. I preferred it. I preferred it, because, I mean, just for all the reasons everyone already knows. When I first saw a picture of Heath Ledger as the Joker on a cover of some sort of magazine, probably Time magazine or whatever, I don't really care much about the Joker, but I saw him and I was like, what have they done to the Joker? What's this garbage? they've done to the Joker. And I didn't see Batman Begins, and I also haven't seen the third one, but I have seen The Dark Knight. And when I saw The Dark Knight, I was like, that is, and remains to this day, the greatest villain performance I've ever seen in a film. You know on The Simpsons when they had Itchy, Scratchy and Poochie, and every time Poochie was off the screen they were like, where's Poochie? That's what I was like with Heath Ledger's Joker. Every time he wasn't on screen I was like, where's Poochie? I want to see more of him. It's such a good film. I mean, every time he's on screen you're just like, I can just hanging on his every word. It's so sinister, you know, when he makes that pencil disappear, classic. When the gangsters think they're all tough, they're like, oh yeah, we'll show you, and he's just like, I've got a jacket full of grenades tied to this string, so test me. And then he just walks out after making a pencil disappear and basically telling them, you're all weenies. We have to kill the Batman. And of course, Two-Face. I didn't even know Two-Face was going to be in that film, but he was like, oh, I'm in this film. You better believe I'm in this film.
Well, you saw Harvey Dent, so you knew Two-Face was going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, yeah. I didn't know that based on what I'd seen going in. I was like, that's Harvey Dent. I know who that guy is. And goes on to become. And of course, Batman was pretty good, and Morgan Freeman was pretty good. And there's that guy who people thought was going to be the Riddler, and he's like, I figured out who Batman is, and I think the press would be inclined to find out. You know, maybe you should pay me some money so I don't tell the press. And then Morgan Freeman's like, wait a minute, you know what this man's capable of, and your plan now is to blackmail him? And the guy's like, wait, I miscalculated. And then Bruce Wayne obviously saves his life later in the film, and he gives him that look as if to say, you better shut up, or I'm coming for you. Drives off in his Lamborghini. Oh, The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's performance is there a better villain performance in a film?
Yes.
The answer is no. The answer is no. So, and once again, I'd like to I'll finish my case by reminding everyone that so far, every time two people have submitted one thing, that's won the vote. I just want you to remember that. Me and Eric Leeson have both submitted. You've won on technicalities all bloody day, Panda.
Panda and I are looking at our choices here, going up against The Dark Knight, looking like the guy without a plan. We're just a dog chasing a car.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, Panda had a plan. I mean, Terminator 2. Come on, that's actually a worthy contender.
Okay, let's get.
I mean, Holy Grail's amazing.
Holy Grail is amazing. Emotive stuff here.
Yes, you know Holy Grail's going to win now. The poll. Are we ready for the poll?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes. Yes. The poll is now live.
I was waiting for some reason. I was waiting for a verbal confirmation from the chat. I'm like, but it's a silent chat.
No, I was asking you. Okay, so I'm voting for the one that should win, yes.
Oh,
yes.
This is close. Come on, Holy Grail. Come on. T2 could be getting its day in number 3. Because let's face it,
I see the Dark Knight pulling his back.
Number 2 is... The second place is done and dusted. It's pack it up and go home for number 2. Or should I say...
If Terminator 2 wins, I'd be perfectly fine with it, because it would sicken me to my core if that wasn't in the top 10.
But I'm getting the vibe that we're going to have a revote, a showdown, unless Hunter throws his vote in late in the day again.
Likes to do it.
So let's have a revote.
We're
having a recount. So out of The Dark Knight versus T2, I know which one I'm voting for. I know what I'm going to vote for.
Alright, and the new poll. Wait, I didn't number it. Number 3, just so everyone remembers. Go! Please cast your votes on the new poll. New and improved, some might say.
I'll Be Back versus Why So Serious?
Exactly. Will Trapp saying only 20% of the people here are cultured. I like that.
Will Trapp, you're absolutely right. It's there you go.
I mean, these films, if we're being honest, it's probably just a tie between these two films, isn't it, really?
If I'm gonna put my cards on the table, I still prefer the Bane one. Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, perhaps he was wondering why you would shoot a man instead of throwing him out of a plane.
Yes.
I haven't seen it, but it looks good.
What's a lovely voice? It's
We're going mobile.
yeah, he's Tom Hardy as Bane. My God, absolute fire.
It is fire. The Dark Knight takes it.
There
The
we
number
go.
3.
There we go. All right, so that was. There's no other way to describe it. Controversial.
It was an upset.
Yes.
It
That's
was
what
an
that was.
upset. An upset
Terminator
like
2 isn't in the top 25. It blows my mind.
he's about as upset as John Connor watching his metal buddy going into the molten slag. Right.
What'd you call me?
Moving on to the number 2 movie of all time. I believe it's my turn now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. How else can I describe it? Look, you all know me as a bulk of a fearless bulk on stream. I ain't afraid of no movie. But there are some choices out there, people. Let me tell you, and there ain't no movie. So, Predator, the movie.
Da-da-da-da-da-dun.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da-da-dun. 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 It's so good. The third greatest Arnie film of all time.
Oh wait, can you do the drums and I'll do the synths. You do the da da da. Go on.
Da-da-da-da-da-dun. 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 Da-da-da-da-da-dun.
All right, so
Do you remember that bit when Arnie is crawling through those piles and piles of dry leaves and
course.
making no sound whatsoever? They say it's because they weren't recording it, but that was just Arnie muting the sound.
or, with his pecs, but also
With his powers.
He was also crawling up on, I believe, a truck that was being used with the engine on as a water pump. So dry leaves. We're not worried about dry leaves here. Jungle noises. Anyway, it stands the test of time. I've said this repeatedly to anyone that would stand still long enough to listen. The special effects, the dialogue, the characters, the plot, everything stands the test of time. No homophobia, no sexism.
None at all, apart from that one guy that uses the F word. And I know what I'm going to say, it's part of his character.
It's a character-defining moment for the redneck of the crew. But the fact
one of the heroes of the film, yes.
Yeah, one of the heroes. Well, is he a hero of the film?
I would
really?
say that's the only thing that hasn't aged well in that film. That and the papier-mâché of Mac's head just before it explodes. Other than that, it holds up.
To be fair, though, there are probably Trump supporters that would probably use that language nowadays anyway, so it's still contemporary.
Yeah, it would make him a villain.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
But yes, there's no homophobia, and there's no sexism, there's no toxic masculinity, there's no racism. It's a United Colours of Benetton team, for goodness sake. Everyone's there, everyone's represented. You might think, okay, well, the lightning effects or whatever are not, the special effects don't stand up, but actually they kind of do. They really, really do. And there's so much you can do with the suspense. And we talked about this on the last podcast. The cinematography in it, the artistry in the way they capture each scene is beyond belief. It's so that you don't notice it's happening. It's that good. Like when you're zooming in on the characters, on the protagonists, when they're looking for the predator, and the camera's never quite on their face because they're never quite certain of their complete surroundings. It's that the imagery and the artistry. It's just beautiful. Predator is mine, and I believe one of my esteemed colleagues' number 2 movie of all time for really, really good reasons, we are going to have a good time tonight, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Alright.
And just one more thing. I think it's safe to say that the greatest Mortal Kombat fatality of all time may never have existed if Predator wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sub-Zero's legendary spine rip. It's directly influenced by Predator. Just had to throw that in there.
There we go. So, Heracles, would you like to try and combat the unbeatable?
Well, my second favorite film is a film that probably no one have seen. It's a spaghetti western, Italian western, for a few dollars more.
Great film.
I've heard of it.
The sequel of Fistful of Dollars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
With Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, Jean-Marie Volonté, beautiful music, awesome plot. I can say a few things.
Is this the
Basically,
one with
about,
sorry, is this the one with We Don't Need No Stinking Badges, or is that a Fistful of Dollars?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, it's about there is this bounty hunter who was the army colonel, something like that. Douglas Mortimer was his name. It's Lee Van Cleef. And his sister, I believe, his little sister, she was married to someone, and this one, a bank robber, great actor by the way, the guy who was playing this guy, raped her. He raped her, and whilst he was doing that, she killed herself with the gun. She committed suicide because she didn't want to live, obviously, after all this. And that thing haunted this bank robber, this particular incident. He was captured later because he was, I think, someone betrayed him, if I remember correctly, from his gang, his robbery gang. And after some years, this bounty hunter, Douglas Mortimer, Lee Van Cleef, he heard that this bank robber, Indio, I think that was his name in that film, he broke free. He escaped jail. He escaped and he was free. And he wanted to kill him because he did what he did to his sister. But there was another bounty hunter, Clint Eastwood. I think Manco was his name, something like that. Who was just a bounty hunter. That was his way of living, and he has his eye also to catch this because the prize was huge. If you caught this guy, it was enormous for him and his gang. Anyway, those two bounty hunters met each other. And they decided that they should join forces because there is no other way they will make it. Because this guy, this bank robber, was savage, was very smart. He had a huge crew. And
Was he Vin Diesel?
no, he's better than that. Anyway, at the end, they had this agreement that if they catch Indio, the bank robber, and his gang, they will share the money. In the end, justice prevailed. I mean, Lee Van Cleef killed this guy, and the rest of this gang with Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood said, "Okay, we'll take half of the money." That was the agreement, and he said, "No, they are all yours." What about the agreement? Clint Eastwood said, and Lee Van Cleef said, "Maybe next time." And he was a bit, emotional because he got what he wanted. He wanted justice for his sister's incident. Yeah, it was a great film.
Yeah, that is genuinely a great spaghetti western. It's one of my favourites as well.
Which is
Probably just behind, obviously, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's another iconic.
Is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with the iconic standoff with the eyes? Is that which movie is that one?
That is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That is this one where you got Lee Van Cleef, Clint Eastwood, and they're doing this.
Yeah, I can't think of that scene and not think of the edit I saw where someone put that meme girl, the little girl. It was like, could you not? It would show like Clint Eastwood's eyes, and then this guy's eyes, and then this guy's eyes, and then it would show that little girl's eyes doing this. I can't unsee that.
There's something so inherently right about a western, and there's a lot of really bad westerns. But if someone said name like top 5 westerns, I could easily do it. Easily do it because there's a lot of for me it'll be like Young Guns, Tombstone, Django Unchained, 3:10 to Yuma, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more. They'll all be in there.
Westerns have never really appealed to me.
It's about it's like the hardship and the struggle. And it's really like Western true grit. I think like the remake is better than the first one, but there's something about Westerns where it's literally a good guy versus a bad guy, and that it's one of those stories. That's why Westerns are appealing, and they're doing so eating cans of beans around campfires, like Blazing Saddles. Yeah.
No racism in that. Okay.
All right. Heracles, are you have you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Super. Yeah. Well, Harpalab, do you think you could possibly beat probably one of the best spaghetti westerns of all time, or Predator? Which one do you think you could beat there?
I think this beats both, obviously, but because of an unwritten rule, I know what's going to win number 2, and it's not going to be this, but it should be this, and this is a little film called Avengers: Infinity War. You might have heard of it. It's one of the biggest blockbusters of the last, 10 years, maybe more. It basically, I know Endgame is the cap on the build-up of the cinematic universe of Marvel, but just before the cap, which, has to close everything off, as Panda just said, is the peak of the cinematic achievement that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The absolute tippy top of the mountain. The greatest Marvel film, by far, quite frankly. Thor Ragnarok's pretty good, I guess, but it's no Infinity War. Endgame, pretty good, but it's no Infinity War. It's just Thanos the movie, and he's awesome. He just goes around winning. The film is so good. This is what's crazy about Infinity War. It relies, and this is, some people actually say this as a knock against the film somehow, that it relies on so much of what came before it. But that's the strength of the film. It doesn't have to waste time going, this is who this character is, and this is who this character is. It just goes, you know them, they're here. You know them, they're here. Remember Guardians of the Galaxy? You know who they are already. You know what their characters are like. We don't need to waste time introducing you to them. You know who Thor is. Boom, put these two together. How awesome is that? You know who the characters are. It didn't waste time with anything. It was just boom, 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 boom. Thanos comes, Thanos wins, the end. It's like most threats in a film, you're sat there going, yeah, but he's not going to win though, is he? not going to win. The good guys are going to win. In most films, there are films like 300 where the good guys didn't win, except in the long run they kind of did. But you get Thanos just goes around. He seems to be unstoppable. You know why? Because he is. He just turns up and goes, I've got a dream, and that dream is pretty despicable, but try and stop me. Bink, 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 bink. Should have gone for the head. Boom. Memes for the rest of time.
Wait, are you saying are you saying that Thanos did the Predator?
Yes, he went. No, that was the sound of all the gems going into the gauntlet. Bum, 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 bum. Not disappearing mushrooms. It's so awesome. I came out. This is how good it is. I came out of the cinema going, it would be crazy for me to say that that's the best film I've ever seen, wouldn't it? It'd be crazy for me to say that. That's what I came out of the cinema saying, because I've never been, apart from maybe The Matrix, which was voted way too low. I've never come out of the cinema as blown away by what I'd just seen as with Infinity War. I mean, even with Dark Knight, I came out of the Dark Knight going, that's one of the best films I've ever seen. But Infinity War's, it's not technically a better film, but I liked it more because there was so much riding on it. There was the 10 years of films that came before, and I'm so used to things in life. Call me a cynic, but I've seen so many things in life where there's just such potential for such awesome things, where the groundwork has been laid, and then the payoff is just absolute dross. Like, I don't know, the Star Wars prequels, and for a lot of people, the Star Wars sequels, These things tend to just not really be very good. They don't tend to deliver on the payoff that you were promised. And Avengers Infinity War did that. You go in there thinking, they've been leading up to Thanos, and now Thanos is happening. How are they going to stop him? The answer is, they don't. It's just so good. They have to reinvent how time travel works. And this is another sort of reason why Endgame is just not as good as Infinity War. Because Iron Man just creates time travel overnight. He thinks about it for a couple of hours and go, you know what, time travel. And it's like, okay, I know you've got a lot of story to tell, but just overnight like that, it's that easy? He just comes up with time travel? Shut up, film. There was none of that in Infinity War. In Infinity War, it was just Thanos. And all the awesome stuff that led up to him being awesome. But it won't win. Because I know what Panda picked, and because Panda has picked what he's picked, the unwritten rule is going to come into effect, and it's going to win. So, Panda, take it away with your
I think
winning...
at this point it's fairly obvious. I've gone with what Bolt's gone for, Predator, just because Bolt's already covered everything I could say about it, and more, to be honest. It's a great film. It speaks for itself. Like I say, if you're listening to this, I'm going to go to Bolt. Predator. It's just Predator. It's amazing. Great film.
I've never heard of it. I mean, the Predator's going to win because once again, two people have voted for it, or put it as their thing. So the unwritten rule. Danny Sadiq says the unwritten rule didn't win last time.
Every time. It's played out every time.
The Dark Knight
Danny, the unwritten rule did play out last time because me and Hercules both said the Dark Knight and it won.
I would also infer that Infinity War didn't win last time it was put in the list. Yeah. Just saying.
Neither did Predator, just saying.
Oh,
when I voted it,
way too low. It's way too low.
Way too high.
Whitney had it in exactly the same spot for her list at number 2. So I've got it in the same spot. Panda's got it in the same spot. We are talking about the triangle right now. the 3 points that look remarkably like a Predator laser sighter. Panda, Whitney, and Bulk all picked it at number 2, and it's homing in on its target. All right, like a shoulder-mounted plasma cannon. Just saying.
Yes.
Just
but
saying.
instead of the color red, it's the color wrong. All right, so let's get going with a poll, shall we? For Predator, a few dollars more, and Infinity War. Let's go.
Let's go.
I did like Heracles' description of for a few dollars more.
Yeah.
He made it sound interesting, I will say.
It is a great film. If you haven't seen that and you like spaghetti westerns, definitely watch it. It's a great spaghetti western.
Yeah.
What if you don't generally care for things set in the Wild West?
Don't watch it.
Then
Watch Predator.
yeah.
I heard someone say that Logan was, which should have been on my honourable mentions, that Logan was a western thematically, and I was
Yes,
like, I don't get it.
Logan, Old Man Logan is thematically a western. It's a great. Logan's a great movie. I'm surprised I left it off. And The Wolverine is also a great movie, but yeah, I think those two are great. Logan is just not quite close enough to the comic in that it isn't for me. Because
I never read the comics, so that's always and from the sounds of it, I'm glad
Wolverine
I never read the comics because
dies in the comic. He legit dies in the comic. He gets frozen in adamantium, but you can't do anything about it. That was close though.
He dies in the film though, doesn't he?
It's left ambiguous in the comic. So there's a
Oh yeah, everyone loves ambiguous endings.
yeah, ambiguity. What isn't ambiguous is the result of this very close vote. Predator is your number 2. Let's go. Let's go. Panda, fist bump me. Fist bump me. Fist bump. You got a fist bump?
No.
Oh, you go that. He's going that. Anyway. Right. So
Okay, Panda and Bolt got their dream film in. Can mine make it in?
okay. So who went first? It was me who went first. Is that right? Or was it?
Yeah.
It was me.
You went Predator and then I'll come back to
Heracles. This is it. Oh, I'm going to change the musical bed for climactic ending there. So, Heracles, what is your number 1 favoritist movie of all time?
My favorite and, in my opinion, the best. When I first thought about this list, I said, okay, this movie is number 1. Close deal. It's a done deal. Who will be the rest? I was thinking. That was the first movie easily for me. And it's everything. Everything was great about this film. Beyond great. The soundtrack, the acting, the plot was already known because we knew the end.
What was the movie? What was
I didn't say it.
You haven't said it
He
yet.
hasn't said yet.
'Cause
He's
there's
teasing.
so many people in the chat going, yeah, no, not a chat. They don't even know what it is yet. I thought I missed it.
It's the best movie, actually. It's the best movie. It's Titanic.
I respect it. That was on my honourable mentions. I respect that.
I respect
Great
it.
film.
It's
Great film.
probably not James Cameron's finest hour, but great. I can only respect it, Heracles. I love you as a friend, and yes.
I saw it in the cinema. It was pretty good.
Sorry,
Not my type of.
sorry, Harps.
I saw it in the cinema. It was pretty good.
No, I'm just sorry.
Hey, it was an okay
What?
watch.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyway. Yeah, I can't say anything about this. I mean, it was easily the best. When I saw it, and all these years, from 1998 till now, the best film I've ever seen. It's not my type of film, my favorite type of film, but it's the best, in my opinion.
It's a good
And the
pick.
soundtrack also, it's again not my type, but it's Celine Dion, it's great. Yeah,
I mean, that song is legendary, to be fair.
I don't like that part in Titanic where the old bird. She's told the whole story in that, and then she reveals she's still got the.
Oh yeah, by the way, I've got it.
And then she's just like, "Ooh, if I'd have seen that, I'd have gone up to her and I'd have grabbed her legs and I'd have gone, ooh, you don't get it.
Panda condones.
She goes to the back of the ship and does a Top Gun, and he like
Yeah.
throwing the dog tags into the sea. Like,
Like, yeah, I'll just take that. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Man.
oh.
But I respect it. Great movie. I really like that film.
I haven't seen it since I saw it in the cinema. I'll just say that.
Okay, well that's. I can only respect it. It is a very popular movie. It's a lot of people absolutely love it. I'm trying.
13 Oscars.
How many?
I think 13.
13 Oscars. 13 Oscars. Okay, well,
Billy Zane, yes, was great.
sorry, did you say Zangief was in it?
No,
Billy Zane.
Oh, Billy Zane, yeah, Billy Zane. Billy
Billy
Zane's
Zane.
an underrated actor.
Billy Zangief was in it.
Yeah, Billy Zane's a super underrated actor. A lot of my friends are into heavy metal, and a lot of my other friends are into heavy metal and tabletop gaming. So the little Warhammer models, which the main man Sui is now into as well now. All right, and the models are now called minis. And if you imagine, these are tiny, tiny little toy soldier models that you have to assemble and then paint. Okay. This meme came out from one of my friends, which is paint me like one of your minis, your minifigures. So they do the eyes in different directions because they're impossible to paint. They like doing the eyeballs.
That's brilliant.
So there we go. I hope that came out well enough on stream. I'm getting reflections and stuff all over the place. Okay. Right, so Titanic, James Cameron's film. There was first I love that. I love the idea of the film. I respect you dearly that you said it's your number one film. It's obviously very emotional for you. There's no reason in hell that Jack would have been allowed to fraternize with anyone outside of steerage, outside of like the third class that he was in. There was no way he would be allowed to go around the rest of the ship, and there is no way that Kate Winslet would have been allowed anywhere near Jack, and there was definitely enough space on that door for Jack to lie on.
She killed him before that. She killed him way before that because he said to her, "Get on the boat," didn't he? She was on it, and then she jumps back off the lifeboat, back onto the Titanic. So then he's got to worry about getting them both off. If she had just listened to him and stayed on that lifeboat,
Yeah.
they both would have survived, and they would have had better odds. He would have had better odds of surviving if she just listened and didn't jump back on the boat.
There's not
On
enough.
top of that, as well, I've got another issue with this film.
Panda's Titanic rants.
She lives the rest of her life, didn't she? She makes a point of saying that she didn't sell the gem or whatever because she didn't want to feel like Billy Zane had given her and all that. But she married and had kids and moved on with her life.
Mm-hmm.
Then when she dies, her idea of heaven is being back on the Titanic with Jack. So imagine her husband that's sat in heaven. What's he thinking? Do you know what I mean? She's lived her whole life with this guy.
He's probably thinking nothing.
He gets mugged right off because she wants to go and be with this guy that she had a one-night stand with on a boat.
Exactly. It was all about Leonardo DiCaprio, and the rest of her life meant nothing.
Exactly.
But there
I'm not having it.
Yeah, Panda's like, and that door, man. He could definitely have gotten that door.
I can't believe Will Trapp said that he was vehemently stating that Avengers Infinity War shouldn't be anywhere near in the place I put it in. And then he says his number one would be Lord of the Rings.
Hunter774, hashtag justice for Jack. Yeah. Okay,
Brilliant.
It's a strong contender, absolutely. So, that's Iraklis there. Harpalop, do you have a number one spot that hasn't already been picked?
I have. Someone has mentioned it already in this top 10, but it was not voted in, and rightly so, because it is my favourite. And it is... You may have heard me saying that Finding Nemo was the second greatest animated film of all time. Because it is, which is why it was so high up the list. It is well trapped. There's nothing wrong with Lord of the Rings, it's just not number one worthy. There are better films like Avengers Infinity War. So, number one is The Lion King. And before anyone disgusts me by asking which one, the only one that exists, I think you'll know. The 1994 animated epic Disney's The Lion King. It doesn't make me cry or anything like that. There's emotional moments in it. I'm not saying it's Toy Story 3 levels, but I have one of the pieces from the score on my Spotify playlist, and every time it plays, I get legit goosebumps every time it plays. When the bit comes on, when the music...
I know exactly the bit. I know exactly the bit. It's
the bit where...
you're aching for some bacon. He's big. No. You can be a big too. Hey!
No, not that bit, surprisingly. Fun fact, the Lion King OST was the second music I ever bought. The first being the Spice Girls album on cassette. Actually, no. Maybe the Lion King was first because that came out before Spice Girls. Anyway, irrelevant.
The second music cassette that I ever bought was Batman the movie soundtrack by Prince.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait, what was that crackle?
I don't know.
It was Mufasa rolling in his grave.
It was. Remember who you are.
Oh, Box,
so yeah, of
too
course.
Soon.
James Earl Jones in, I think we can all agree, his most iconic role. Of course not, Darth Vader. But James Earl Jones.
No, it was.
It was Conan bad guy.
No, Coming to America. It's the King of Zamunda.
King. What's his name? King.
Joffrey Jaffa. King Joffrey Jaffa.
They made a second one of that, by the way. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, I saw an advert for it last night during the interview. So yeah, King Joffrey Jaffa Joffrey Jafar of Zamunda.
Yeah. Nice. But yeah, so this piece of music is from the part in the film where Simba, he is returned back to Pride Rock to take his rightful place as king after his evil Scar cast him away and tricked him into thinking that he killed Mufasa, but then he managed to get Scar to admit, and he said, I killed Mufasa. And he's like, so they can hear you. And he goes, I killed Mufasa. And then there's fire everywhere. The hyenas start fighting. The lions are going, we're lions though, so we're going to kick your butt. They do that. And then, of course, Timon and Pumbaa ride in. Rafiki doing his Bruce Lee, doing all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And the bit after all the dust settles, and then Simba actually starts walking up Pride Rock, and he's taking his rightful place as king. That piece of music that swells during that part gives me goosebumps to this day. There is no better animated film. There was no film I loved more growing up as a child, and there are no sequels to it. My number one favorite film of all time, Disney's The Lion King.
Okay. And it's a proud moment to be on Pride Rock right now.
Yes.
Panda. We've heard about lions. What has the panda got to say about this? What's your number one?
Mine's one that Iraklis actually brought up himself as an honourable mention that everyone had forgotten about. It's a great film. Al Pacino's my favourite Al Pacino film. You can forget The Godfather and all that. My number one is Scarface. I absolutely love that film. I love everything about it. It's just a brilliant film again. It's one of those films I could watch time and time again. It's got great one-liners in it, great action pieces in it. It's got a great story. The Cuban refugee comes to America and starts with nothing, builds his way up into a big empire and that. And yeah, and it also helps. I hadn't seen it until after I'd played Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And obviously that game is heavily inspired by a lot of the bits in Scarface, so that helped. And my brother actually said, "Oh, if you like this game, you want to watch this old film." And I started watching it like, "Oh, I don't really know about this." And the more I went through the film, the more I got into it, and just ended up absolutely loving it. So
it's got some shocking scenes in it, just iconic, like the chainsaw in the showers, like that whole scene.
Yeah.
That's intense, man.
Even,
I can't believe
it's the one where he goes to, is it Colombia he goes to, and the guy's actually an FBI informant, and they end up hanging him out of the helicopter. That was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that was like, this is what we do to you. Like, I can't believe that wasn't on my honourable mentions. That film's so good.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant film. So yeah, it ended up being, I was thinking about it for a long time, and I just ended up thinking, I love that. Out of all these films, if I had to pick one to watch now, it would be Scarface. So that's why it ended up being my number one.
Okay. That is an excellent shout. So, how can I possibly top that? Well, all of us are winners because we've come out in public and said our number one movies of all time. My number one movie of all time, better even than Predator.
I'm curious.
A visionary masterpiece. It's an oldie but a goldie. It has inspired an entire genre of everything that is cyberpunky, futuristic, dark and dystopian. My favourite movie of all time is Blade Runner. For me, the director's cut.
2049.
Not 2049. No, although 2049 is a great movie.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before. It made me want to watch it.
It just pees on my memory of what Harrison Ford's Decker character is in Blade Runner, where it's left to the audience that it's an ambiguous ending, but I don't necessarily want to spoil it. But for me, Decker is a replicant. He is an android. He just doesn't know it. But there we go, and it was left deliberately ambiguous. But basically, Earth in the dark cyberpunk future have found a way to create superhuman beings that are so intensely better in every way than a regular human being. But because they're just a creation, they want to make sure that they don't rise up and take over like the Terminator. So they fit artificially these androids with a lifespan of 4 years. So they have to do everything that they do within that time. And a group of these are called replicants, these androids. These group of replicants who, up until this point, are created in a factory and then sent out across the stars and across the planet to do work for the sake of humankind. But these are live, if you would like, people. They're constructed beings, and a group of these replicants decide that they don't want to die in 4 years, and they want to do something with their lives that isn't getting killed in a factory or mining on Mars or whatever it may be. So what they do is they just escape, and the Blade Runners are cops who have to hunt down rogue replicants. That's their entire job. They have to they have to hunt these androids, and Harrison Ford is that guy. And you've got Sean Young, who helped me through my childhood. She's a fabulous thing to look at in Dune and in Blade Runner. You've got the atmosphere, the music, the visuals, the everything that you've ever seen in a sci-fi after this point had an inspiration from Blade Runner. Just remember that. Everything that you have seen in a sci-fi or a futuristic game started in Blade Runner.
I mean, even with I saw Blade Runner 1 for the first time only like 3 years ago. Not long after 2049 came out. My parents said, "Oh, we're going to watch this. Want to watch it?" And I was like, "Yeah," but I haven't seen the original. And they were like, "Well, let's watch that first then." And I watched it, and it was great. It's the only film where I've ever gotten to the end, and I thought, I feel like I'm missing stuff. and I need to see that again to get like a richer understanding. Like, it was a great film. It was an amazing film, but I felt like there was stuff that warranted a second view to get a better understanding of it. And yeah, you're right. The influence has been felt everywhere. Like, even in the fact that the replicants have a 4-year... They've got a built-in expiry date, basically. Even in Metal Gear Solid, Solid Snake is, you could argue, kind of a replicant. Like, he was a clone of Big Boss, created by this company to be a genetically superior sort of soldier. And in Metal Gear Solid 4, he's old. And Metal Gear Solid 4 isn't set that long after, like, 2. He's just got accelerated aging, and it's revealed that he had a built-in... because he was basically made to be a weapon, in case he fell into enemy hands, they built in an expiry date into him. So they coded in accelerated aging so that he wouldn't live too long and become dangerous. Mm-hmm. And when I saw Blade Runner, I was like, the inspiration of this film is everywhere. It's crazy.
I will get back to Rowan KO5's point, Rowan's point. He passed the Voight Kampf test in the same way as Sean Young passed it. So the new line of replicants all passed the test. It's like a they've gone past the point of passing the test. They all automatically pass the test.
Was he a new line? One of the new ones?
Well, that's the thing, is he doesn't know. You don't know anything about his past. You
Stop
don't know
spoiling
anything
it.
about his history.
Surely the people who hired him would know. They'd be like, hey, he only came into existence 5 years ago.
You don't know. And also, and it's also alluded that, like, Sean Young might be special. She might not have a 4-year cap. And if she doesn't have a 4-year cap, he might not have a 4-year cap.
I like answers in my mysteries.
Ergo, Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
So there we go. There is that. There's also something else that you just mentioned. Oh yeah, so influences in media. How can we forget Rutger Hauer? All of these things disappear like tears in the rain. What a great line. I don't know how to put that together. So yeah, Rutger Hauer as, in my eyes, the equally baddest bad guy of all. He was the one who was created to be a soldier, but he just wanted to not be what he was. And story, themes, Ridley Scott's finest hour. Blade Runner, for me, director's cut, is where it's at. So the thing with Ridley Scott is he changes his tune all the time. At the time the movie came out, he's like, no, he's a human. And then everyone was like theory crafting, and then he said, okay, yeah, he's a replicant. And then 2049 came out and go, no, he was a human all along. And then after that, it was like, no, he was a replicant. So he's he changes it.
I know there's many different versions of the film, and there's a lot of debate as to, like, which one is the best one to watch. I hear there's the one where Harrison Ford does narration over it. Is that one to watch or one to avoid?
That was like the alternative cinema release, like the alternative theatrical release that was for TV, or stuff like that. So it might even have been the very original theatrical release. But the voiceover one. Do you think it's better with the narration or without? Yeah, the voiceover one is the one you don't want to watch. It's the director's cut is what you want to watch. The one that they eventually got back to it, and it was like, okay, no, this is meant to be the movie. And there we go, Blade Runner. So let's look at the choices. We have I Will Always... What's the song?
My Heart Will Go On.
Okay. Iroquois, He'll Always Go On. That's his number one. We have Hakuna Matata for number one for Harple up there.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Well, I'll tell you, someone that will be feeling the love and making you see his little friend is Panda with Scarface. And at the end of it all, we all burn. The candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and we have burned oh so bright here with Blade Runner. Let's see your votes, people. This is the final one. Remember, this is the number one spot. Let's go.
This is it. This is it, everyone. Boom! The poll is now live. All 4 of these are very, very good films, worthy of watching. If you haven't seen them, you should watch them.
This is tight. Lion King, Danny Sadiq.
I was looking for accolades that the Lion King had. Like, it was the first. I think it was the first animated film ever to win an Oscar.
Come on,
Ever?
Blade Runner. Come on, Blade
Pretty good.
Runner.
Isn't it a rip-off of that Japanese cartoon?
Who?
Yes, Kimber the Lion. The weird thing is,
Kimber the
while
Lion,
I was looking for accolades, it says the Lion King is the first Disney property to be an original IP and not based on something that already existed. And I was like, but isn't it famously a rip-off of this Japanese story?
What is original is Blade Runner.
Yes, I mean, Blade Runner's not just original; it's an originator.
And it's never been beat. It's just
It basically
never been
birthed
beat.
a whole genre.
It's only going to get beaten here tonight.
Oh, Danny Sadiq, of course, he says the Lion King has been viewed by me. A huge accolade. That's high praise indeed. The man who's never seen a film in his
Titanic
life.
got 3 votes. Me and Bolt fell short there with Scarface and Blade Runner.
How did Blade Runner and Scarface lose to Titanic?
We have to have a word with our viewers. I mean, I love our viewers to the bitter end. And you guys don't know how to vote for stuff.
You had Predator. You had your prize film.
We had Pulp Fiction
Okay.
and Endgame and Terminator 2 lose to Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. I'm just going to say that
Yes.
again. We had Terminator T2, Endgame, and Pulp Ruddy Fiction lose to Ace Ventura 2, the 14th best Jim Carrey movie.
You can keep repeating that, Bob, but don't forget, I had Ace Ventura When Nature Calls in number 5. And Pulp Fiction was an honourable mention, so... Oh no. Okay, here we go. And this is for all the marbles. The final poll for real this time. Let's go.
I might not vote out of
for those
protest
films.
now.
I was thinking that.
What am I going to vote for? Is Lion King or Titanic?
Don't make... Well, yeah, vote for the Lion King.
God, I don't know, man. I mean,
You gotta vote for something. You have to vote for something. Toss a coin or something. No, don't do that, because Titanic will win. The Lion King's so good.
I can't have.
The best animated film of all time. Everyone should remember
It's
that.
not. It's Akira. Akira's the best animated movie of all time.
No one's even heard of that. But
Big disagree. Akira's amazing, don't get me wrong, but it is
Titanic
big
isn't
disagree.
even the best ship movie. That's Master and Commander.
Then vote for the best animated movie.
It cannot be a top 25 without Titanic. That's not.
Titanic can't be number 1 though. That's also equally true.
I can't. What do I... Okay, because
Yes.
I like the idea of Leonardo DiCaprio dying. Okay.
Yes.
Justice has prevailed. There is balance in the world. Everyone knows what is true and correct. I had my 4th and 5th things voted in far too low. Everyone else got all their stuff voted in at the right place. Now I finally get one voted in at the right place. The most important one. Humble as ever. Harpalap winning with the Lion King.
I don't know if I've got the energy to respond to Whitney's boop there, because Scarface and Blade Runner lost to Titanic and
Yeah, I can't believe
The
that.
Lion King. What is? Hang on, I don't know if I've got an appropriate musical bed for this. Let me just try and go back to something
Bum,
less.
bum, bum, bum. Wah.
There we go. I'll go to something less happy because, my God.
Oh. And you were doing so well. Wait, hang on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look who.
I'm doing
had
better
the
than
most wins
normal.
This
I
evening.
was doing better than normal. I think Panda
I
won
won.
it. I think Panda got.
I got
all of
11.
the-
You've got 8. Harps, Bolt's got 7, and Eric's got
Yeah,
3.
look. No, Bulk had Akira and Predator and Aliens and all this good stuff.
And Blade Runner deserves to be in there. My God,
It does.
I gave you guys a chance by putting in things like Highlander and Fists of the North Star. You know, just giving you a chance. But
5 of
Blade
those
Runner does.
were mine, by the way. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
sorry, say again. What?
5 of those top 10 were mine.
5 of the top 10.
Mind you, me and you both had Aliens and Predator in the same place.
In
Bolt,
exactly not even just in a top 10, in exactly the same spot. Mind melt.
Well,
Mind melt.
I mean, look at this. We got Monsters Inc., Jaws, RoboCop. In almost every film on this list is just universally godlike. And there's just some that I haven't seen.
Watch Upgrade.
Oh, you know my friend that said, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't put Pulp Fiction in like at least top 10." I told him what came in number 25, Dread, and he goes, "Dread, the one with Carl Urban," and I went, "Yeah," and he goes, "That's an awful film."
You can't be kidding me.
And I was like, "Yeah, but you don't understand. Bulk loves Judge Dredd." I think that might have helped. But look at that.
You want to get a breakdown of the top 25?
Well, let's do that. I'm still in shock, but I'll do it anyway. I've got to be professional. I'm dressed for the occasion. Let's go. So,
did we only have two? I think there's only two franchises that had multiple entries. Maybe three.
Spider-Man.
Aliens
Spider-Man
had a multiple entry.
Spider-Man, Alien.
Spider-Man had multiple entry.
Terminator. No. Terminator 2
didn't make
Terminator and
Terminator 2.
Oh, Terminator 2.
Batman.
Oh, okay. So that did make it,
Batman.
is what you're saying. Okay, that did make
Yes.
it. Okay, so Alien and Aliens.
Spider-Verse and
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Verse, and
Batman.
I
And The Dark Knight.
Batman and the Dark. Can you really call out the same though? Because it's Keaton and Nolan. That's different.
Well, it's the same Well, if you're going to include Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2 as the same franchise,
Okay, alright.
you've got to include those two Batmans.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Then I guess it's the only other one will be the MCU ones, which is Thor Ragnarok and.
That was it.
That's it. Somehow.
How did Endgame Infinity War? What is wrong with your chat, Bolt?
There is
you
nothing. Look, there is
You put
nothing wrong
Predator
with
up
my
against
chat.
Infinity War, mate.
There is nothing wrong with my chat. I love every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Occasional lapses of concentration. Okay.
2 times.
Scarface and Blade Runner lost to Lion King and Titanic.
That's actually really gross.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's run down the entire top 25. In at 25, Dread. 2012. Yes, the Carl Urban one. It really helps that I like Judge Dredd. 24, Upgrade.
You need
23.
to watch that.
23 in this list, no one can hear you scream. It's Alien. 22, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 21, Back to the Future, Part 2. 20, Total Recall. In this, I'm going to just throw my head at the guy. Anyway, Total Recall. 19, The Matrix. Oh, what? I've dropped my list over here. There we go. It's over here. I found it. I got it. Got The Matrix. 18. Tonight we'll do our list in hell. 300. 17. Thor Ragnarok, the best Thor movie. The best Marvel movie, just saying. 16. 16. The Terminator. Classic there. 15. Spider-Man 2. That's the upside down kiss, right?
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
Spider-Man 2 is the train.
Spider-Man 2 is brilliant, but lazy.
Okay. 14. Monsters Inc. Get this,
Yes.
As well.
get this list back where it came from. Oh, so help me, so help me, so help me, and cut.
Yeah, see? Because people love Monsters Inc. Some people, when I said Finding Nemo, there was a bunch of people going, Monsters Inc. is better, and I'm like, I respect it, but I disagree. It's underrated.
Billy Crystal, he spawned the longest running joke I say in karate class, which is 2 peanuts walked down a dark alley, one was assaulted. 13.
Such a dad joke.
13. Jaws. Dum. 12. RoboCop. There we go. 11.
That's a good place for it.
11. 1989 Michael Keaton Batman. There we go.
Oh, I remember that beating something that it really shouldn't have beaten. Oh, Predator, that was it.
Oh no, it didn't. It definitely should have beaten something that it shouldn't have done. But we all know why. It was tactical voting.
Yes.
Number 10, Die Hard. There you go.
Great choice.
Balding guy. Well, no, I'm not balding, so that doesn't really count. But short-haired dude in a vest.
In a vest, yeah. I mean, come on. And he kicks butt.
Hey, yes, there we go. John McClane. 9, Shaving
John
Ryan's
McClane.
Privates. Saving Private Ryan. 8, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Too low.
Beat Pulp Fiction, Endgame, and T2. Okay. 7, Jurassic Park. There we go. Heracles will find a way. It was his pick. 6, Aliens. There we go. What we need to do is put this in at number 6, Panda. All right. Nuke it from orbit. Just to be safe. Got to be sure. 5, Akira by default.
Canada.
Yeah, I feel like it could have won.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
by default.
Yeah, it was by default. It was by default because the other ones were picked, but it deserved it, frankly, and so did Scarface and Blade Runner. Number 4, The Green Mile. There we go.
I've never had anyone say they don't like it.
It's not my favourite Mile movie. I think my favourite Mile movie would be 8 Mile.
I was going to say that as a joke. Are you being serious?
No, I'll be serious. It's got.
I saw that in the cinema. I couldn't stop swearing like him.
It's got
for
Brittany
days.
Murphy in it. What's not to like? There you go. 3, The Dark Knight. 2. Get back to the list. It's Predator.
Yeah.
And your number 1 slot is Rafiki's finest hour. It's the story of an orangutan. No, what is Rafiki? He's a baboon.
He's a baboon.
He's a baboon. Sorry, it's the story of a mystical baboon and his plucky compatriots, the Lion King. There we go.
It doesn't. He taught an entire generation of kids the benefits of learning from your mistakes.
He deserved to get mauled because there was a point in that film. Right, imagine if your dad's died and you think you're to blame and you've left the town that you were from because of that, and then some geezer struts up to you like talking nonsense and goes, "No, he's not dead. He's still alive. I'll show you." And then he takes you to a mirror. You're gonna you're gonna be a bit upset about it.
No, because he gave him the strength to go back and take his pride
He
back.
told him his
Because
dad
then
was
he's
alive.
Panda,
because
you
then
should
he's
Panda, you should have said
did
this
he have
10
a
minutes ago.
conversation? Panda, did Simba have a conversation with his dad after meeting Rafiki? Yes. Remember who you are. He got what he was
He
promised,
spoke with some clouds in the shape of his dad.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it just.
and
I
it was
I
very
think it was
emotional.
more. I think it was more an emotional projection thing. I just think he
Well, yeah,
felt,
he didn't
like,
actually
heard
have to
what he
act
wanted
his
to
dad.
hear.
Yeah.
I think he heard what he wanted to hear.
It was double meaning because he looked at his reflection and then he reflected on things. Yeah. And Rafiki again, taught him the benefits
Should have
of
been more. It's a lion for a start. He should have just
yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Aha! You see? Come on.
Okay.
He didn't get bonked on the head that time.
So I'm just saying he deserved to get mauled.
I'm with Panda on that one, and I'm really gutted that we didn't say that 10 minutes ago.
He saved the kingdom basically because Simba probably wouldn't have gone back if he hadn't spoken
more
to
to the
Rafiki.
point.
Rafiki's the true hero of the story.
More to the point, Harps. Who in the chat voted for Titanic?
Not me.
Who did vote for Titanic in all fairness?
We've got a lot of romantics in
show
the
hands.
chat. We've clearly got a lot of romantics in the chat who don't. You can tell a lot about our characters. The Tinder Legend, the ultimate romance movie. We've got the dark and sinister, the dark and depressing Blade Runner. You've got my man's upstairs, who's all about.
See, make an analogy here.
Well, he's all about permanently changing your body for the better. Scarface, Get it with the tattoos.
Oh,
Get
okay.
it? See. And we have, my cartoon pal up here.
Lively and animated.
Lively and animated, yes. Okay, well, unfortunately, in that 2-horse race, Heracles' ship sank, and Lion King came out victorious as your number 1 movie of all time. Well done, chap.
Good to got the lion's share of the votes.
Oh,
That was so groan worthy. I have to blow my nose.
yeah. Well, okay, so wrapping things up, gentlemen and ladies of the chat, and obviously my colleagues here, it's been an absolute blast. I love doing these things. Yeah, okay, they're long. Panda can barely keep his eyes
I'm
open.
tired.
there.
Is it obvious I'm tired?
Well,
We
you're
should
always,
stick to
you're
maybe
a
top
parent.
10s in the future.
Yeah, you're a parent. You're always tired. So yeah, maybe top 10s in the future, but then we'd just do another 3-hour broadcast. It's just. you mean
Yeah, but it
split
wouldn't
them
stretch over
5
2 weeks.
I see. Okay. So it's been great having you guys around, and chat. It's been great communicating with you lot as well. My Mac is about to sleep soon. I looked up; it was at 12%. It's now at 9. That was in the space of 15 seconds.
Wait, you stream and it's not plugged in?
Do you not have a
Mrs.
charger?
Bulk took the charger. She needed it for hers. Okay.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Look, chat, it's always great. I want to say thank you to the Tinder legend himself, Heracles, the man, the myth, the panda legend up there, and of course to Team Considerable Harpler. Make sure you check in their streams and follow them on YouTube, because the videos they're cranking out, they are at a geometric rate. Chat. You crazy kids, you take it easy in there. If the bed falls through, all of us will see you in the spring. Be careful and take all the necessary precautions at the maskless hugging parties. We're going to leave you now with quite possibly the best thanks for watching screen you're going to watch on a stream tonight at this hour. I think I covered off all the things.
You're adding more qualifiers to it every time. I like that.
Yes, it needs to be, because, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be lying.
I'm going to get sued by somebody, that's why. I'm going to get sued by a proper streamer. Okay. Right.
Like me.
GG's, everybody, and ciao for now.